Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Critical Podcast. My name is Jimmy Good, and I'm your host, and joining me, as always, is my go-to podcast compadre, Mr. Joe Lever. Joe, how's it going, pal?
Joe Lever of Ellis Construction at your service. Got anything you need me to build, I'll build it. This episode brought to you by Ice, Cold, Crisp, Refreshing, Cool, Canada Dry Ginger Ale.
I'd like to just take a moment here and tell everyone that we are definitely not sponsored by Canada Dry, but if anybody knows Canada Dry or the people behind that, we would love to be sponsored by them because then I wouldn't have to be drinking Mountain Dew.
Dr. Pepper 7-Up Inc. out of Plano, Texas.
Plano.
Legacy Drive, Plano, Texas.
Isn't it crazy? Because like here in the States, I just think about Pepsi and Coke only. I never think of like the Dr. Pepper 7-Up.
Oh, they got their own thing going, and clearly they got it right.
Yeah, Canada Dry,
Just
man.
saying. I mean, yeah, I don't mean to, I'm sorry, I'm like flaunting their product and we don't even talk, but just saying, I enjoy nice ice cold Canada Dry. And if you want somebody to promote your product, I mean, there's nobody better than I.
I really will try that again, Joe, if I think of it, to send this to them, because I would love just even a letter back to saying someone had to watch it. They're like, okay, what? Like,
I kind of have a problem. I drink like maybe 5 or 6 of these a day, sometimes 10 if it's a stressful one. It just keeps calm, cool, collected because it's ice, crisp, cold, refreshing Canada Dry Ginger Ale.
I think it's good because it settles the tummy. The ginger settles the tummy. That's what I was told.
I haven't had an upset stomach since I was 5 years old. Coincidentally, I started drinking Canada Dry when I was 6.
Ah, well, I don't know if those things are mutually exclusive, but hey, baby, like, it sounds good to me. I think that's a proof of concept right there. He's been doing it for like over 20 years.
Okay,
great.
I ad-libbed that. I mean, that was all made up, but it was good stuff, right, Canada Dry?
Exactly. You guys don't even know.
Hit me up.
Don't even need to hire a writer. Just have Joe do it. Oh my gosh, that'd be so great, Joe. If like you just took off with that, and here I am all the time. I'm like, one of these days, I'm gonna take off into the talking pictures.
Oh.
Joe's just Canada Dry face, just like, well,
pulling
geez.
ginger out of the ground.
That'd be great.
Just so everybody knows. I mean, hey, maybe you sell a different drink, but you like how I promoted Canada Dry. I can spin it. I can make it work for anything.
I tried that with the Naked Juice Corporation because I was like, man, they could use a face for that group. I love that stuff, man. Anyway, speaking of things we love talking about video games, movies, TV shows, theme parks. I'm wearing a Mountain Man t-shirt for anybody who's watching right now. The Space Mountain, Splash Mountain, Thunder Mountain, the Big Three.
Oh, it's all of them. That's why it says Mountain Man. I get it. It all makes sense now.
Space Mountain's kind of tiny. And it is a V-neck. I'm not usually a V-neck kind of guy. It's a little more skin though for our.
Show a little that chest hair.
Well, for the people who are watching, as opposed to the people who are listening, they get a little bit more of a show. But yeah, I love. This is one of the coolest things I've gotten recently, and I was just like, I'm gonna wear it because I freaking love Disney, and I want people to remember that I always love it. I love it so freaking much.
You know what they say, Jimmy? I mean, you're gonna wear V-necks. You got to show a little chest hair, and to get a little chest hair, you know what puts hair on your chest?
What, Joe?
Jalapenos. Eat a jalapeno or two, and you are off to the races, my friend.
You missed your perfect opportunity to say Canada Dry, man. I thought for sure.
No. You need something a little fiery, something that upsets the stomach. What you do is you eat the jalapenos, put the hair on your chest, then you follow up with a nice ice cold, crisp, cool, refreshing Canada Dry Ginger Ale. Calm your stomach right down. Heartburn, thing of the past, gone.
I don't really want to show like any chest hair. I'm not really that kind of guy, Joe. That's more for you. So we'll have to get you a V-neck, like a nice, like really deep V-neck for CR. That would be.
Yeah, when I wear my polos to work, I never do a button. I'm just like, Yeah, what'd you say? Yeah, I'll get that report on your desk tomorrow.
So great. I feel like, Joe, you might need this job for Canada Dry because you might be getting fired. Like, hey, how's it going? I got that report on your desk. Like, it's like, oh man. Like, Joe, please stop wearing a tube top. Anyway, we've got a lot of news to cover here today, and the first thing I wanted to talk about, because there's a lot, I wanted to start with something that we kind of have to theorize a little bit about. But that's Monster Hunter World. Monster Hunter World is getting an expansion coming next fall, which seems like a ways away. But
wow.
Yeah, Joe, so it's called Iceborne. We kind of got a little trailer for it. It's mostly just some hunters fighting a Rathalos, and Rathalos leaves and starts flying across the water to kind of a snowy, icy region, kind of like we were hoping for. And it shows a bunch of hunters kind of lined up, eventually wearing and utilizing different weapons and armor that are ice kind of focused. There's lots of furs, lots of cool like blue steels and things like that. Not blue steel like Zoolander, but yeah, it looks really interesting.
Say, Jimmy?
You have to say it again so they can pop up.
Oh, what did you say, Jimmy?
I don't know. Yeah, so there's been a lot of like hopes out there for certain ice kind of flavored monsters to show up because you had some of those in the Coral Highlands. I guess Legania was kind of the big ice monster in this game, but
Cool
there's
about
some.
that.
Yeah, but I'm really excited about this, and honestly, at this point, I just played a little bit more of that the other night, and then like the next day, they're like an expansion is coming, and for someone who has personally put over 300 hours into that game. I am like so on board for even more because even though I was losing, because Leo and I, Joe, were going after Behemoth and we just couldn't get good partners. If anybody out there is a professional Monster Hunter player, well, it was later at night, buddy. We need you. It's like impossible. Joe, we tried like, I'm not kidding, like 15 times. Like never. We've gotten so freaking close so many times. But anyway, even though we were losing, I still had such a fun time. And like that is the mark of a good game to me, like amongst other things. But like even if I'm not like performing at the best, or if it's just like, oh, this sucks, I still just love being there. I love like doing stuff. I'm like, man, this is so fun. So I'm all about that expansion. Joe, are you all about that expansion?
I sure am. It's out quite a ways. I'm hoping it like doubles the game. Like, because if it's just one new realm and 3 new monsters, it's going to be kind of like, wow, this took a year to bring out, or half a year, whatever.
Yeah, that's a good point, Joe.
Yeah, that's a while.
I don't know if we got any confirmation on it's a whole new zone, so we know that much. So think of like Wildspire Waste or something. So it's like another big zone like that. I don't know how many monsters I don't know if they've said specifically. They said this spring they're going to give us some more information because it does seem like a long ways away for that. But
yeah,
you know,
you'd think there'd be more to it than just the zone, you know.
And that and all the weapons, and I'm sure they'll trick out the Astera in that place. Also, by the way, they're doing kind of a winter event right now. So up in the top ship in the Gathering Hub, it looks really, really nice and cozy and wonderful. It's like, cool. Yeah, they really just. That game is just given so much, and because we've talked about this so much, and unless you're brand new here to the show, the game has been delivering for almost a year now on just constant updates that have been completely 100% free, and we're talking different like character skins, so you can look like Dante from Devil May Cry. We're talking new monsters. We're talking crossover events, like things like that, but all for free, which is insane to me. Like that, it's just like a shining example of a game that sold over 10 million copies now that didn't have to go on that like hardcore DLC route right away when they easily probably could have made a lot of money doing that. But they're like, nope, we're just going to wait, give you a huge freaking expansion, which hopefully probably won't double the game, Joe, but it seems like it's going to be pretty substantial. Otherwise, they would have just probably updated the game. And
I just worry with a new zone that only means like 4 new monsters, and then you get like a maybe one of the elder dragons occupies that area now and again, or you can hunt it there, kind of like Kushla Deora, right? The one that you can find it in Ancient Forest or in the main one, Elder Recess. But
yeah,
so I'm sure you'll get like that. Maybe Devil Joe will be there because he occupies different areas. So I hope, because that's the thing, each zone only houses about 4 resident monsters. So I don't know. I mean, that's still quite a bit, and that's pretty cool, I guess. Just a little, like if it was, I know zones are really hard to do. I mean, you're probably building a whole new engine to run that zone.
I don't know if you build a new engine for it, but just it's still a lot to add to something this big already.
I don't know all those inner workings of game development, but man, I feel like to wait that long, 2 zones with 2 sets of monsters equaling 8 monsters would be worth the wait. 1 zone, 4 monsters. I mean, I know I sound greedy, but could you maybe come out with that in the spring at least?
takes time for these things. Well, they said here, and I'm not familiar with previous games, but they said it's comparable to other expansions like Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, where they added a bunch of stuff. And the developers here are saying it's huge. Not as big as a sequel, of course, but somewhere around previous expansions. So something that's pretty, like, I'm guessing it's pretty massive, especially if they're going to say that about this game, which already feels fairly big and they've given so much already.
True.
Because they could have, what they could have done, Joe, is they could have said, hey, you know what, you're going to get like 1 or 2 monsters, and then we're going to keep all this other stuff and then launch it with Iceborne, you know, with a bunch of these new monsters that were going to be in here anyway, instead of drip feeding them like they have. So yeah, that's the question, is like how much. Obviously we need to know the price because we still don't know that, and we don't know the monsters. Definitely we're looking at least 1 variant for every weapon set, maybe even new weapons. They didn't say anything yet, still waiting for that scythe, baby. But like, you know, that could be another big thing too, another challenge, because they might have made 1 or 2 new weapons, which, think about how crazy and different each weapon is. Like,
that would excite me. The developers always talk about what was the question they asked the developers? Oh, it was like, what's the most interesting weapon you like to watch people use and use incorrectly or whatnot, and or not take advantage of? And they're like, the hunting horn.
Yes, I'm glad you watched that. Everybody should go check out Game Informer's rapid fire questions for Monster Hunter, but all of the rapid fire questions are super good. But listening to those guys go back and forth was so great, and I love the gut reactions, because they had to, like, you know, cut because they had a translator, but they're like, what's your favorite monster? And one of the guys is like, Godzilla. Like, he didn't hesitate. He's just like, it's Godzilla. Like, I wonder if their dream, like, crossover would be like, put Godzilla in the game as Zora Magdaros. They're just like, and it's Godzilla. Like, just his head. Just that'd be really cool. Either way, I'm excited about it. Plus, I'm excited about the monsters, the potential monsters. I think I saw one pop up that people were saying, they kind of put on thumbnail. They're like, oh, I hope this monster is back from previous games.
Yeah, so think about that. You get 4 monsters. That means you get 4 different armors, 4 different variations on your weapons, because just for having 4 new monsters, which is awesome.
And that's a lot of stuff for
that's
like
a lot
everything.
Of stuff. Yeah, multiply it times all those items. Wow.
Yeah, but maybe it's going to be more than that. I really think that this one might have more than just 4 monsters, because I think of like Wildspire, and you make a good point. You have typically, regularly, Rathian, Diablos, Geradados, and Baroth, right? So there's 4 right there. And then that switches out sometimes. You get Teostra there, like occasionally, but that's kind of like an Elder Recess one. That's kind of a flex one. And then obviously, like, you can hunt other things there sometimes too. But those are like the ones that I kind of attribute to Wildspire. So 4 or 5 roughly. But if this is bigger than the regular zones, we might be looking at like 6 or 7.
Because I think that rapid fire question thing was filmed before the game was out.
Yes, that one was definitely, for sure.
So when they asked how many monsters occupy a zone, and they immediately answered about 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I mean, it is typically 4, and then you get the ones that cross over here and there with special optional hunts or whatever, or investigations. Excuse me.
I just want an icy Elder Dragon, man. That'd be
cool. Sometimes I put Kushala in that
kind of the wind
category, but it's more wind.
Yeah,
still one of the coolest ones in the game, even though I feel like it's not as accentuated. Sometimes I almost feel like it's not as memorable.
It's not. Well,
it kind of hangs out there, but I think from a look standpoint, it's very classic and striking.
Yeah, I also love in that video they talk about, like, they're like, what's the scariest monster in here? They're like, Nergigante, he'll mess you up or whatever. I was like, yeah, I love that. Hopefully Nergigante flies over to Iceborne and just crashes in there, tries to eat somebody. You're like, ah.
Yeah, but then I think, I don't know, is it Nergigante or is it Devil Joe?
That's a good fight, dude. I'd watch that fight.
Yeah,
that's a good fight. That's a good fight.
The world eater, right?
Yeah, he eats a lot of things. But yeah, I'm excited about it. I can't wait to know more about it, and it's obviously a tease. But I'm really hopeful, because the game has given so much, I feel like, already, and it kind of helps me justify buying it almost regardless of the price. I'm guessing at the most it'll be $40. That would probably be my rough estimate for this. But I think it'll just be so much stuff that it will be like, okay, yeah, I could see myself really getting into it.
So you're saying this expansion will cost money?
Yes, this was the first paid expansion they've had.
Oh, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
If it was free, I was gonna say I would have paid for it.
Yeah, no, that's why I think they waited so long is because you have this base that's built up now, all these people, especially that they've cracked the Western market in a way they haven't before,
Mhm.
and then kind of saying, all right, now we can launch this big thing and let's make it worth people's time because we've already made it worth people's time with these other
Yeah.
things that we've added, like Behemoth and Devil Joe and stuff like that. So hopefully they eventually just want to put all their monsters in here. Although after this is done, Joe, I kind of want them to just be like done for 2 or 3 years and then just make the next one, like Monster Hunter World 2, and just take everything to the next level and just be like, yep, we just took a few years off and we just like really fine-tuned everything and we put every freaking monster we possibly could into this game. Just throwing it all in there. And maybe make all the zones connected or something. Like that would be so cool, right?
Yeah, like GTA style where the map just goes forever.
That would be like, or yeah, a Red Dead style, man. Just like
Yeah.
interconnected maps and just like basically like kiting a monster into a different zone that wasn't favorable for them would be so cool. Like, that would be great. So, yeah, here's hoping. I hope other people are as excited as I am. And I think with a player base of like, well, I can't say their player base is still 10 million, but I think they sold 10 million copies or more. There's definitely people out there who are probably jazzed as well. So, yeah. We'll talk about it more once we get some more information about it, because right now we can only hypothesize. But the reason I wanted to bring them up is because they were over at the Game Awards last week, and I was so excited because they actually took home the award for best role-playing game, and I like cheered. I was like, yes! Like I didn't think they were gonna win it because it is an RPG, but there's some other things on this list where I thought maybe the judges will think it's not like as much of a role-playing game as some of these other ones. But I was so excited for them, and then they walked out. They're like, "We have some news for you coming soon," and I was like, "Yes, cool." So it got me excited for the expansion. But I want to kind of go down the list quickly of Game Award winners, just because if anybody missed them, you might be interested to know like what they are, or what went down with all that stuff. One thing I do want to talk about at the top of this, though, is that I think my favorite moment of the whole show, Joe, is that Sean Layden, Reggie Fils-Aimé, and good old Phil Spencer walked out on stage together at the very beginning of this thing. These are kind of more or less the faces, not necessarily the heads of their respective consoles. So we have PlayStation, Nintendo, and Microsoft all standing together and kind of reading a speech off together about being friends, or kind of, or not so much being friends, but being friendly and kind of being for games and loving games, and we all need to band together. And that moment was so cool for me, just because it was like, oh my gosh. And Reggie was up there for Nintendo. He had a Smash Brothers shirt on, and I just kept thinking, what if both of these guys just like lean over and announce a character for both? He's like, oh yeah, well we're gonna have Crash Bandicoot in Smash, and then Phil was like, oh, we're gonna have Banjo-Kazooie in Smash. I wanted that to happen. It didn't, but it would have been great. That's all I'm trying to say. It would have been wonderful. So yeah, but let's run down the list really quickly. We do not need to go over all of them. We are going to skip with the esports stuff, because personally I have no idea about any of that, and I just Joe, unless you want to know.
No,
Esports.
Okay,
Thank goodness. So I'm gonna let you guess on a few of these, though. Best multiplayer game, Joe. Do you have any guesses as to what you think won? I don't know if you watched all of this.
But it has to be from 2018.
Has to be from 2018.
Yeah, it's either Fortnite or COD.
Yeah, Fortnite.
Yeah.
Here's one for you, Joe. And I hate
Garbage.
I met you, Joe. This is really bothered me. Best sports or racing game. What do you think took home best sports or racing game? I can tell you right now, it's your favorite.
It's either FIFA or Forza.
It's very good guesses, Joe. It's actually Forza Horizon 4, which is like, that was the big Microsoft win of the night.
Good.
I was like,
I'm glad it was a car racing driving game.
And that game deserves it. Are there better racing games than Forza? No, because Forza like really kicks it into gear, man.
Yeah.
Like, and I
mean,
mean,
you want to see what this car looks like in real life? Go play Forza.
Yep, exactly. Best strategy game, Into the Breach. I hadn't heard of it. Best family game, Overcooked 2, which a lot of people like. Best fighting game. I don't think you'd guess this one though, Joe. I'll tell you this: it's an anime from your childhood, potentially. You might have watched it a little bit.
I mean, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, something.
Dragon Ball Fighters Z. Dragon Ball Fighters. No, not familiar with it? No. That's okay. Best role-playing game, Monster Hunter. Beat out Ni no Kuni 2, Octopath Traveler, Pillars of Eternity 2, and Dragon Quest 11. Which I just played. Yeah, I'm happy it won. I thought that they were all going to put Octopath Traveler on there because it's like a 32 or 16-bit game. or looking game, Joe, like on the Switch, and it's kind of like I think it attacks people's nostalgia. And I was like, oh man, this thing might take a lot of awards just because people are like, it looks like the old games. Like to me, I'm always like, that's a step backwards.
Hunter's finally got the recognition it deserved with its launch and everything throughout the globe, and it's to a lot of people it's original.
Yeah, exactly. For us, it's like, oh, this is like the first. No. There's like 80 of these games. It's
exactly. Like, but to us, like, it's like, wow, what an original idea. And they did such a good job and all these things. How'd they come up with all this? Well, they kind of already had a base, but man,
do something fun, Joe, and like look at the history of that franchise and go back and see like the old combos that like are still being used today for like the knives or like the great swords, and how like different the whole world looked, and like not, it doesn't look as nice as it does today. It's like, oh my gosh, like they started here and they've just come all the way over here, but we started seeing it here. Like we've seen now it's like their A game, like it's just A game stuff. But like if you look back in the past, you're like, whoa, they've really upped the ante here. Good on them. Best action adventure game, Joe. Here are our nominees: Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, or Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Joe, do you have a guess for that?
Spider-Man.
Guess again.
Really?
I'll tell you this.
Creed?
Guess God what, Joe? Spider-Man, I don't think won anything this year.
That's considering the hype and how much people.
Yeah, I thought so.
It did all that.
It was God of War.
Yeah. That was my third guess. All right.
There you go.
I don't know why I said Assassin's Creed. Shame on me.
Best action game, it went to someone that you wouldn't guess. Call of Duty was on here for Black Ops 4, but Dead Cells, that's the only like 32-bit-ish game that I'd be interested in. Destiny 2 Forsaken. I don't like that Destiny 2 gets to be on here for like an expansion. Far Cry 5 and Mega Man 11. I was like, you know what, Far Cry? You got nominated. Good on you. Even introduced that new game, that New Dawn, and I was like, oh, it's a year later. That's pretty quick. I was like, Joe, would you go back to Far Cry, like a new Far Cry game? Like,
I mean, if the one I have got expanded and was like,
no, this is just gonna be a brand new game.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I was like, it's too quick, guys, too quick. Let's see. We're gonna skip those. We're gonna skip that. We're gonna skip that. Gonna skip that. Oh, guess what? Best performance. Do you want to take a guess at who won best like vocal performance this year, Joe? And it's a game that you've played and someone you've heard talk a lot recently. So Call of Duty's out. I can tell you that.
The guy who played what's his name in Red Dead.
Yep, Arthur Morgan. So Roger Clark, which is great because he went on stage and when he started talking, he's got like an accent. Like I don't think he's from the States. So he was talking about like his wife would be like, all right, you got to check Arthur at the door. Because like he just, he'd go out for just the entire day and be at Rockstar and just talk like Arthur for the whole time. Just like how much dialogue do you think he's recorded that like we haven't heard, even though we played through like most of the game? It's like there's so much we just haven't heard. It's crazy. Yeah, and I was excited for him. I was like, you deserve it. Best audio design went to Red Dead Redemption 2. This is where Red Dead starts to kind of sweep a little bit. Best score / music, Red Dead Redemption 2.
Really?
Best art direction was the one I didn't think would win, but Return of Obra Dinn. It was this kind of artsy black and white first-person game. Interesting. Best narrative, Red Dead Redemption 2. Best game direction, so like their director and whatnot. Can you take a guess on that one, Joe?
Red Dead.
Wrong. Take another guess.
You got any hints? Huh?
It's the only other one that we talked about recently, the one that's got a lot of hype around it.
Best direction?
Yeah. I'll give you a hint. Sparta.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. That confused you. God of War. God of War is supposed to be. I'm so sorry.
Sparta? No.
It's game for Sparta. Best ongoing game, Joe? You want to take a guess for which seems like best multiplayer to me, but I just don't know why they're two. Like, they'll be separate.
Ongoing is either Overwatch or Call of Duty?
No, it's Fortnite. Overwatch did get nominated, though. But like Fortnite is ongoing, but they also nominated for multiplayer. But did it come out this year? Like last?
I don't know. You never heard about it till this past spring. It was popular over the summer.
Yeah, and then it overtook PUBG and whatnot. All right, Joe, game of the year. Here you go, bud. I'm going to give you 3 guesses.
Overwatch.
No, I'd love that'd be so great. On stage, just like I don't have to open it, it's Overwatch. Jeff Kaplan somewhere, he's like, yeah. So Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Celeste, God of War, Spider-Man, Monster Hunter World, Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm happy Monster Hunter got one.
2.
Take another guess.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow, Monster Hunter?
No, Joe, I would have lost my freaking mind if they would have given it to Monster Hunter. I would have been like,
why? Game of the year? What? Who did they give it to?
They gave it to God of War. Yeah. I think if you see the game, Joe, you'll know, because you didn't, honestly, you didn't play through it. I played through it, and I think God of War is like a really good game.
Yeah, but you played through it and then it's done.
Well, I mean, that doesn't mean it's like a bad game.
I know, but it's like it doesn't have much to offer. There's got to be other stuff evaluated that makes it. I'm not going to read into it. They voted.
I know. It's interesting, though, because it does seem the way they introduced God of War way back in the day, it was so much like pomp and circumstance. And it's funny that this has really taken hold of people because it's such a different direction than the original like trilogy or the original kind of saga of God of War. It's very serious and somber and very close up and much more story driven, much more Naughty Dog. And I think that's what wins Game of the Year awards typically at these types of things. I'm not saying God of War is like a bad game and undeserving because I think it's really wonderful, but I think when a lot of the people try to judge and assess what a good game is, like look at you with like Red Dead Redemption 2 and myself, we still haven't like fully beaten that game. It should have been compelling enough for us to be like, man, I want to keep playing, but there's just so much. It's so expansive and open. I think that's the problem with God of War. It was like, you're kind of going like, you got to go forward.
True.
Just gotta
keep I mean, I'll admit it hasn't really, I haven't been motivated to go back and keep playing story in Red Dead. It was good timing where it was like, yeah, because it came out just prior to Call of Duty, didn't it?
No, it came after. Call of Duty was the beginning of October, and I think Red Dead was at the end of it. Yeah, because Call of Duty took it like sold the most in October. That's because Call of Duty, or it came out at the beginning of the month.
So. Yeah, so I did play quite a bit of Red Dead then. Surprisingly, because right now I'm on like a 3-week streak of playing Blackout. So every day. That's interesting. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I want to get back into the online too, but like I said, I'm not going to play it on a weeknight. It's like, okay, we got Saturday afternoon or evening, all the guys are together chilling. Let's get some missions underway, huh? So
I think the story was just too long in Red Dead. I think that's the problem. Like these games,
yeah, I almost started to think, is there even an end goal here besides?
Yeah, you go to like another region entirely in the story, and it just, I was thinking this has to be like the end, right? And then it was like they came back and I was like, guys, wrap it up. Like this is a good story, but I was like come on. And that was my problem with God of War. Conversely, is that I felt like that story was just picking up at the end, and I was like, what? And obviously it's supposed to tease the future, but when I played the first God of War, all I gotta say is this: it wasn't like you're gonna fight Ares one day. You fought him at the end of that thing. Spoiler alert, you fight Ares because it's called God of War. Sorry, everybody. These are my problems, not yours. Why are the chains, the blades of chaos considered a spoiler, everybody? They are as freaking okay, sorry. Anyway, so God of War 1, which it kind of came down. I think it was going to be between God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2. Monster Hunter was never going to win that. Spider-Man, I felt like, had such a rough year because it came out, you look at this list and 2 of these are Sony exclusives. And I think a lot of people were kind of like God of War, Spider-Man, God of War, Spider-Man. And I think God of War, because it was more of like an adult narrative, kind of driven story. Yeah. Spider-Man just wasn't going to get the chance, even though Spider-Man is easily the best handling game of any of these games. Like it just feels incredible to play it. So it just was kind of a bad year for Spidey. If Spidey came out any other year, I think it would have taken home some awards, but just couldn't seem to whip one to it. I thought it was going to take it for God of War, Joe. I seriously thought Spider-Man was going to come in and be like, take it. But I guess the critics, they didn't think that, or the judges, I should say. So yeah, but that'll change, Joe, when we're judges for the good old Game Awards. Jeff, please ask us anytime. That would be great. That'd be wonderful. Yeah, so there we go, Joe. Anything else you want to talk about here at the Game Awards? Any upsets or anything that are you still wishing Overwatch won Game of the Year this year?
Yeah, still trying to cope with how that didn't happen.
Yeah. Joe's just sitting there. He's sitting next to Jeff Kaplan. He's like, dude.
What the hell is going on here, guy?
I think Jeff did hand out an award though, which was great. So, and this is just the Fortnite year because this is what, and I don't need to rant about this, but content creator of the year. Who do you think won content creator of the year, Joe?
Rockstar?
No, like who? Like an individual, like a streamer, maybe.
Oh, Ninja.
Yep. And guess what, Joe? The other people who were all nominated for content creators of the year were all Fortnite streamers. Every single one.
Really?
That like.
You're telling me that Dr. Disrespect wasn't on there?
He won the other year or whatever. Like was it last year? I think he did. People were joking about that because there's like a picture of him sitting in the crowd up front, and everyone else is dressed up in like suits and stuff. And someone took that picture. That whole thing, and they said like when your custom character makes it into the cutscene of a video game, and it's like great because it is just like that moment where you're like everybody's like looking all the same and stuff, and just he's sitting there just with the glasses and stuff.
Do you ever watch him?
I haven't.
What he does for his streams is so different from everybody else because he actually has like, I think he has like some programming background or something. So he builds like these virtual sets for, I guess, his green screen, or I don't know how he does it, and he'll like take a break between a game. He'll get up and like he has one that's like a lit stage, like nightclubby. And when he's really vibing and he's got like his music playing to the side, he'll like change views and it'll do like his transition thing. And then you'll see him kind of phase into this like nightclubby area and he's like dancing around and stuff. And then he fades back out and he comes back. And I think he's freaking hilarious. He's creative and it's kind of cool. And he talks about his like his oh god, what's it called, the stadium and people up there in the Gillette suite, and then I think it's great. Very smart, business savvy. Just the way I mean, that's how you get attention. That's how you gather a following, is by appealing to people. And he did it by creating this character or alter ego and just committing to that. And I think people dig it and think it's hilarious. And I literally find myself laughing out loud. Like he commits to that character so much that, people comment like the speed, violence, and something or whatever. And I don't know. It's just all funny quirks, and like he just feeds off that and plays it back, and everybody just gets a kick out of it. It's just a good time. So whatever. Ninja, blue hair and all, and he's sponsored by Red Bull. I suppose he should get it. Whatever.
So what you're saying, Joe, is that we have to change up our streams.
Yeah, Jimmy, you need to come up with a persona.
Yeah, because the whole Commander of the Legion thing isn't working if I don't wear like full armor.
Exactly.
That'd be great.
You don't have the full armor, the thing.
People aren't gonna believe me. You're right. I'll get people on it right now. People who are watching this, start sending me armor and stuff. Yeah,
like legit props, like medieval knight stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, Ninja won. My only issue with this is make 2 separate categories, like with racing and sports. Do it again here. Have best streamer of the year and then best content creator. Because I look at other groups, I look at like the Easy Allies, but they were judges this year because they know Jeff and whatnot. But there's like Angry Joe. There's a bunch of these other guys who are like making videos all the time. It's not just streaming things. They're like editing videos together and doing all this. Like that should be your content creator, not the person who edits
some of
the
those streamers don't even like, they get the setup and all this, and they kind of, I wouldn't say even the most popular ones, I don't know that they necessarily put on a good show.
Yeah.
They just get numbers because they're actually good at the game they're playing, and half the time they don't even interact with the chat or anything like that. They just sit there and play, talk to the person that they're playing multiplayer with, that sort of thing. And donations come in, subscribers, and maybe once in a blue moon they'll be like, hey, thanks for subscribing, and right back to playing. I feel like just because you've made such an impact and got all these numbers because you're good at something doesn't mean you should necessarily get the award.
Yeah.
It's
a little weird. And the only thing is because he's kind of cracked in the mainstream, like he was on Ellen. Like I think they kind of want to hold him up because they're like, oh, you're kind of bringing gaming into more of that to the world here. Exactly. Oh my gosh. Speaking of someone bringing stuff into the world, here it's Levi. Levi, thanks for joining us.
Bringing evil into the world.
We don't want Levi. What do you think? Ninja won Content Creator of the Year. Are you pro that or against that?
Ninja won?
Yeah,
What?
he won Content Creator of the Year.
I'm sorry. I have to disconnect from this podcast.
Okay, all right, there we go. So why is it every time?
Are we talking about Fortnite? I'm out.
I wish I can kick you, Levi. I'll disconnect you myself.
You know what? You might just have to because I don't want to talk about Ninja. Piece of trash. No, I'm just kidding.
All I'm saying is that they should give that award to someone who actually makes videos. Hi, Jeff.
Shane Dawson?
No, like an actual good person. No, who makes video game things. Or like Joe, I don't know if you watched that one, and people are kind of maybe divisive about this, but JonTron, hilarious. That guy's so funny, even though he made these videos about flex tape. I don't know. He was nominated last year or whatever that was.
So big anymore? Sorry, Mark.
Well, no, this year, Levi, they were all Fortnite streamers, every one of them.
Yuck, that's so gross.
Next year it'll be different. Hopefully Fortnite won't be as it just seems so political.
I just said trash.
Yeah, it is.
It's really sad. I mean, we were at, dinner the other night and these kids are all just screaming about Fortnite. I'm like, when is this going to die? I'm all about people having fun, but when is this going to die?
Yeah, we'll see what the next thing is going to be. What if it isn't Battle Royale? Which apparently Red Dead still has Battle Royale in it. You just have to get an invite in the game for the online.
I did it online.
Oh, really?
Or maybe it's a different style of it, but it's kind of similar. It's like you gotta get the guy who has the bag of gold or something, and there's like a whole mass party, and you all gotta find that guy and kill him and pick up the gold. But people just end up shooting each other like crazy. So.
I was thinking, what's the looting like? Because it's kind of slower in that game, and you kill a person, walk up, and you're slowly picking up their guns. So it shoots you, and you're you're bandaging yourself. You're it's real time.
Yeah,
shot in the face.
Yeah, it was weird, but no, the Battle Royale thing I have no problem with as long as it's done well. PUBG, people even went back because they just did a big update or whatever. And they're just like, wow, this game, no wonder it's dying. It's trash. I love when I'm trying to aim at somebody. It's so glitchy that it's am I even aiming at them or the tree next to them? There's no prowess or athleticism to the game. And then Fortnite, people they're just, I don't know, the whole third person, and it's kind of arcadey. It's more arcadey than anything. But then
maybe I want them to rename it Fork Knife and do a eating battle royale,
like silver silver utensils, silverware. I don't know. Maybe I'm a little biased. I just think if anybody really capitalized on the battle royale mode, it's definitely Call of Duty. It's just Treyarch just has the technology, they have the money, and they just did it so finely. Everything works. It's just good. I mean, you get your little this and that, but yeah, I don't know. Battle Royale isn't all it's cracked up to be, but if you're gonna play one, I think Blackout's kind of top tier at the moment.
Levi stealing the fork knife joke from Peppy the Prawn, the Muppet, who was there actually giving out an award right alongside Ninja, and he was maybe the best part of the show. Joe, I know you hate Muppets, but
yeah, Peppy, I would have left.
He was great, Joe. He was wonderful.
Probably tossed a damn match on that thing.
He's like, fork knife? Yeah, that was great. He's like, Fortnite's only 2 weeks.
Speaking about Muppets, I don't know why, this is just random, but I was going through old Weezer videos that were pulling up on my YouTube channel, and
as one does.
Weezer had a video with the Muppets called Gone Fishing, or Going Fishing or something. It's super funny.
Cool.
Yeah.
Absolutely disgusting.
Joe, you need to give the Muppets a shot, man. They're good.
Creepy little monsters.
I laughed quite a bit,
and all of a sudden you wake up and there's a Muppet at the foot of your bed.
What happened? Did someone attack you with a Kermit Muppet once or something?
Kermit. Freaking Muppet at the foot of your bed, arms, hands.
Can't you say that about anything?
Just like this at the end of your bed, and just.
Joe, I have to admit, there was this really funny video that Jimmy showed me at Disney, and making fun of Mickey, and it killed me. It was super funny. Speaking
of those, you should definitely check out our Disney vlogs. And we were talking about streaming earlier, 100% chat engagement. Stop by our Twitch sometime. Seriously.
Plug.
It's fun. We have a good time. The last big thing I want to talk about here today, now that Levi is here too, I want to talk about this trailer that dropped for Avengers Endgame. Yes, finally we get to take a little look at the end that has been coming for over a decade now. Getting a little teaser trailer. If you haven't seen this trailer yet, I highly recommend you pause this video and watch it quick and then come back. It's pretty brief. It's not nothing crazy. But if you don't want any Avengers spoilers at all, just click the timestamps down below, jump up to Timekillers so you can avoid all of this. Anyway, Avengers 4 trailer. Joe, I want to start with you here. So we're finally getting to see the aftermath of what happened in Infinity War. How do you feel? What do you think about what we're seeing here?
I should have watched it and refreshed my thoughts.
That's okay. It's Tony Stark. He's the helmet.
Yeah, I got a little excited. It looks good. I'm forgetting something in there.
See, we prepped about this. I'm like, you watched Avengers trailer? Yeah, I watched Avengers.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm worried about how Tony gets rescued. Guardians are going to find him, aren't they? Yeah.
Rocket or
those guys are going to go out and find the guy. But it's only Rockets left, and who else? That's
just it, Rocket
and Nebula.
Yeah, I guess she's technically, but she's with him. We actually had, part of our community feedback and questions, I'd asked people like what they thought, like who was going to save whom, and Missile Mage says that he thinks that Rocket's going to save Tony. I was like,
yeah, I think that's a good anticipation, but I think how's Nebula going to help? I mean, she's got to be resourceful. She's used to space and how to travel and the technology.
How pissed off do you think the fans would be if they were just like, nope, he's just going to suffocate and die, and that's just how it's going to go?
So sad.
I wouldn't put it past them.
But they kind of alluded to him being kind of one of the main keys to finishing the whole thing. So
yeah. So there's a lot of theories floating around about that. Missile Mage still thinks that Tony's not going to die. They're going to retire him. I think that's not going to happen at all. There's no way Tony retires. But I think you either get Tony from the past and bring him in. Like if this Tony actually dies, you bring him from the past and bring him forward somehow. Or like he's wearing basically the same outfit he wore back in the first Iron Man, where he was trapped in a cave. If he can make an Iron Man suit in a cave in the middle of like Afghanistan or whatever,
apart of spaceship and
tear apart a spaceship, he'll live. Like he'll be fine. I really am not too worried about him. I know it seems dire, but it's like I still think he's going to be okay. So
he'll figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. But then you also have Cap and Widow back, at Avengers HQ, and you have Scott Lang showing up with the van from Ant-Man and the Wasp with the kind of the quantum tunnel into the quantum realm, which basically this trailer, all it did is I think it boosted the sales of that film like crazy amount. Like people were like, I don't have to watch Ant-Man and the Wasp, right? Now they're like, yes, you do have to watch it. Watch it immediately.
Actually,
that's like,
that's a little bit of a spoiler too, because it kind of ruins the cliffhanger from Ant-Man. But
I guess kind of, maybe a little bit, but you kind of know in that one too, like he's not.
Who's gonna save him?
Exactly. So he's going to save himself.
Yeah. How does he get back?
That's the question. See, that's the question.
Dead.
There's mystery in the trailer yet. We don't know anything.
I saw a comment on the trailer that said, like, before watching the Avengers Endgame trailer, I knew nothing. After watching the Avengers Endgame trailer, I still knew nothing. And it was like, it's pretty good because it's just like, Hawkeye is Ronin. He's got a mohawk and a sword. It's pretty cool.
And he's hated, so his family got fucked up.
Yeah, I hope the beginning of that movie is him going back to his farm.
Dissolved in the ashes, Levi. They didn't.
His daughter's like, Daddy, I'm getting fucked up. And
it's not like Spring Break or something.
Make sure you put the R rating on this one, huh?
It would be great if it were R rating, and like part of his battle strategy now with the sword is he threw his family's ashes into people's faces. They're like, oh my god!
Did Nick drop the F-bomb or did he say "oh shit"?
At the end, he got his classic line.
Oh, he's gonna say "mother," and then
he got, which was so stupid. It's like, and then he's got his little Captain Marvel pager on him at all times. Like, what if he was fumbling for that and his hand dissolved before he could get it? He was like, oh,
dude.
I know we didn't see him in the trailer, but I'm really excited to see more of like Coulson. Coulson?
Do you think Coulson's gonna be back?
Oh yeah, he'll be back. He's gonna be a key.
He might show up at the very end. Yeah, 11th
hour.
Yeah,
I feel like he's gonna have some part in Captain Marvel, and I feel like he's gonna have a part in this movie too.
Yeah, well, he definitely a part in Captain Marvel for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like okay, so like I said, we kind of teased about like Ronan and stuff, but was there any part of the trailer, Levi, that specifically stood out to you where you're like, wow, I really like this?
I actually really appreciate how they scaled everything back for this trailer and didn't go ham like they did for the first Infinity War trailer, because I feel like they just gave away too much. And I knew that trailer like for verbatim, like watching that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
This trailer is just much more somber, much more like, fuck guys, he did what he said he was gonna do, and now we gotta figure this out. And
Well, they set the tone and they take off right where they left off.
yeah.
I like the part where you see the armor sitting on the pike, kind of retired, so to speak, which they do show a little bit right at the end when he's sitting on the step looking at the sunset.
I really do like Thanos as a villain. I really do.
Yeah, I think he's good. I mean, you kind of side with him just a little bit. I mean,
yeah.
You know it's wrong, but you're also like, I get it, kind of. But yeah, I don't know.
He saw Aquaman and he was like, I gotta snap this universe in half if this is what these humans are producing. So
wow. I don't know, Jimmy. You said Aquaman's getting good reviews already.
Getting good reviews.
It is good.
We all got to go see it. All I saw was the beginning of one person's review that just said Aquaman is underwater insanity. They're like just trying to understand this film because it's so crazy and huge. They said people just keep saying it's massive. It's just way bigger than it needs to be. And I was like, great. Like they put Dave Bond's like perfect. Let's go all out. But Thanos, you guys make a good point, because one of my favorite things about this trailer is they do that kind of, I call it the gladiator, kind of like sweeping the wheat with your hand kind of thing, because you see his like gauntleted hand as it kind of goes over that. But the restraint in this trailer of not showing him at all, almost like just showing that little bit, I think was really cool, because he's
got a limp.
Does he have a limp?
I think there's a limp there. Is he still injured?
I mean, he got kind of fucked up. So
I watched a video about this. It's like a half a second. But when Thanos does the snap, and people were joking, like, what if Thanos could have been snapped out of existence? But he probably was like, half of everything except for me, then did it. But when he teleports it away with the glove, you actually see his wound close up right as it goes. Yeah, it's like you can't watch it and see it. That's how fast it happens. But if you watch it like in slow, frame by frame, slow-mo, you can see it's like, and then it's fine.
Any of you guys watched did any of you guys get it on Blu-ray or anything? Like, I want to know about deleted scenes. What we're missing.
Oh yeah, I watched them all. It's just been a while. I can't remember. It was cool, but
anything good, Joe? Like any little.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, if you go on your Xbox, buy it off the Microsoft Store, it's probably the best way to get it all. But
nothing that you can recall off the top of your head. So nothing really good.
No, they have some Thanos moments. They show behind the scenes and development and how they CG some of that stuff, like the Thanos interactions with Gamora and stuff on his throne or whatever, and how they do the Nebula tearing her apart in that room thing.
Gives me goosebumps.
Yeah, she was really hanging like that actually, and they just have they motion capture certain things and pull it apart, but she was really there. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, the way they do Thanos' CG takes a lot of work.
I bet it does.
I'm surprised we see so much of him. Like, wow.
And that's why he's changed so much over the years too. If you look at him in his first kind of appearance at the very end of Avengers, and then you see him in Guardians of the Galaxy for a bit. I do think, though, my biggest projection or kind of prediction, as it were, is that we will do the time jumping thing, and they will fight a fully armored Thanos, like maybe without the Infinity Gauntlet. I think you'll still get that fight, because we still haven't really had that where he's like wearing all the stuff and he looks like, OG Thanos, and people are like, everybody's fighting him. I think that's going to be cool. And he'll lock hands with the Hulk at one moment, and Hulk will overpower him and finally beat somebody, because Hulk hasn't won one freaking fight.
Big green freaking 5-year-old, he's not gonna do shit.
I hope he doesn't talk anymore. Just the Hulk needs to shut up.
Yeah, he was doing too much banter, and like they gotta fix that. It was super weird how he wasn't.
I don't know, Thor. What do you think? Shut up.
Some Bruce Banner banter. We gotta shut. I'm this close to making a rant video about why I don't like Thor Ragnarok, but I just don't know if anyone would care. Like,
could we not have changed Widow's like hair a little bit? Like, could she not have been like, okay, I'm a little depressed now, let's color it
I saw something really cool. There's an artist that works for Marvel that did concept art for Black Widow for Infinity War, and it looked so good because she had her red hair, but she had like a green scarf. She had her pistols. She had like this kind of cool armor set on. It's like, oh man, it would have been so cool if they would have gone that direction with her. But it's like they're not doing that at all now. So like they're gonna go back to the past and
colored
get
her hair though because of the undercover thing. I forgot about that.
I guess, but like Falcon didn't. Like he didn't change it all. Like
he kind of Hawkeye. I mean, he's got the mohawk as black and
Hawkeye.
Falcon. Yeah,
Falcon. Falcon didn't do anything. It's just like also Black Widow, probably one of the most like well-known people on the planet. Also, the fact that she like went in front of like a jury, like at the end of Winter Soldier, to give. It's like you're not hiding. Like just because you're blonde, it's like oh, it's a gorgeous blonde that looks just like Black Widow. Oh wait,
and she's like, probably like, haha, that's not canon.
And of course, they're not going to change the look of her suit. I mean, Scarlett Johansson not in latex. What the.
Yeah, exactly. I just get her out of here. I'm just saying, just make that movie and then retire the character.
And we have Captain America flipping crying. Breaks my heart. Like,
yeah. Also, somebody made a really good point about this because I was watching, and I don't like to like just bash on things, but I do watch the everything great about, but also the everything wrong with videos. So I watch kind of both ends of the spectrum. And for Infinity War, there's a really good point where he's talking about like, oh, so Thanos beats up Hulk without the gauntlet or any stone, basically maybe one stone at that point. He's not even really using it. But then a fully almost gauntleted Thanos gets stopped by Captain America in that last shot, where he's like holding him like, oh, yeah, you're so right. Like, how's Cap holding? It's like,
yeah, but what they didn't tell you is Cap broke his back there.
Oh, he broke his back.
It was a compound fracture of every vertebrae in his back. Therefore, he's pretty screwed up now. He's going to be like Professor Xavier from X-Men.
They're going to tie him to a rope.
He'll still have the shield.
His rope will be attached to the handles of the shield, and he'll sit on it like a little saucer, and they'll just kind of drag him around. He's like, faster! That would be
mush,
great.
Hulk, mush!
Yeah, we need that
Shut
shield.
Up, Captain America.
And obviously, as you saw at the end of that movie, and kind of going into this one, we have our original mixture of Avengers, which will definitely be like, I think the thing that saves the day. It'll have that kind of moment. But I also love that Ant-Man's here. I really love like Ant-Man. I love this guy. I love Paul Rudd. I love his performance. I really think it adds something to the whole thing. And just that moment where Steve's like, is this a recording? He's like, I'm here with a freaking man. Like bad things just happen.
I know we met at the airport.
But I don't want this to be a goofy film. Like I love the like goofy moments like, in Ant-Man. Because Ant-Man did what Thor should have done. I just don't want it. I hope that's not a big tone here.
No, it's definitely not going to be. That's why Thor Ragnarok's a throwaway movie and inconsequential. Loses an eye and loses his hammer. Guess what happens in Infinity War? Gets an eye, gets a hammer.
Axe.
Yeah, but it's still a hammer. Like I mean, it's just like that. Thor Ragnarok really. Ooh, baby. Anyway,
it burns.
It does. Like, would you guys watch that video? I really have got thoughts on it. I want to call it.
It's not worth my time.
Oh, that's. I mean, like my video about it, Joe.
It's not worth your time.
The biggest crime in that movie is Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett. Okay, in 2 movies now. Quick aside, in that movie and then in Ocean's 8, you get Kate Blanchett, right? Incredible actor. And they're like, hey, you're going to be kind of a big part of this, but then you're not. And they were just going to have you go and do stuff off screen for most of this movie. It's like, you got Kate Blanchett. She's not Galadriel in these movies, man. Like, bring her in. Make her be Rusty. Make her be Brad Pitt.
Yeah. Is there one movie where we can watch with her where she's like an actual main character and we can just watch her the whole time? Because
I was thinking about it. I don't know. I'm sure there's like some serious movies we haven't seen, Levi, where she's the main person.
Do you think they're actually going to do the death thing with her?
I don't know. I wanted them
That'd
to.
That'd be cool.
I think it would be cool. I know we were talking last time how it wasn't the greatest idea. It was too hard to do, like the Deadpool in love with death and all that. I think they could do it. I mean, they could bring a physicality to it and a humanity to it. It doesn't have to be so far out there. It's an actual like physical person.
Anything can go right now because we actually don't even know who the real villain is of this movie, right? It could be Galactus or it could be someone else.
I think it's still just going to be Thanos because they're going to save those guys.
Okay.
They want to save. I think they just, for the business sake, I think they want to stretch it out. And people are saying like, oh, are they going to start introducing Skrulls? I've heard a theory that said like maybe at the end credits, one of the Avengers will be a Skrull. Like they'll kind of do that there, but they can't just drop it in this movie because this movie's coming out like a month or less than Captain Marvel because they pushed it up to April. It was like just around that same time. I'm like, oh my god! Like,
are there good Skrulls then? Is that why they're posing as Avengers?
No, they might usually just. Sometimes there might be a good Skrull. I can't say. I haven't read all the comics. But for the most part, it's usually to just like implement themselves into the world in various spots. So yeah, I don't know.
Just kidding.
Fury will be a Skrull.
Oh, Fury, that's a good one. A lot of people were saying maybe like Banner would be a really good one because he can't like now that he's not the Hulk, he hasn't been able to change back into the Hulk anymore. So like, that's why he was like, I can't change it to the Hulk, like that sort of thing. But he also had that no moment, so that doesn't make sense. No. Anyway, but yeah, I think they'll save that. I think Thanos will still be the main bad guy. I thought in the thumbnail for this, because Tony was holding like a helmet, I was like, are they bringing Ultron back? Like, I was like, oh my god, if they do time jumping, if Ultron comes back, oh god, it would be so good. But I think the death thing was a missed opportunity. I think Ragnarok could have been even cooler if like Thanos would have showed up there and been like, I'm trying to save someone I fell in love with. I'm trying to basically kill Odin so I can get the lady I love back in my life. And like that could have been a whole thing and really been like, I'm making a universe for her. I'm trying to appease her because that's all I'm trying to do. That's why I'm trying to kill everybody or like half of everyone. Oh God, it would have been so good. Anyway,
I feel like he's more relatable if they do it how they did.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like the way they've done it so far is fine, and have Gamora be that emotional center. It's great. Anyway,
I miss her.
She'll be back. Don't worry. So basically, as I always ask with you guys, Levi, let's start with you. Hypometer 0 to 100 degrees after this trailer. Where are you?
100.
Okay, Joe. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it 100. There's no way I'm not gonna see it. I like it.
Oh, it doesn't mean that you're not going to see it. I just mean like, where are you feeling inside?
I mean, there's going to be something insanely impactful here besides people dissolving and all that garbage. I mean, there's something bigger at play, even bigger than Thanos's footprint on the galaxy.
I mean, these movies are like the Super Bowl. It's an event,
Yeah, it really is.
You got something to look forward to besides just a movie. It's an experience with friends, experience with everybody,
Exactly. And the fact that our generation has spent 10, 11 years growing with each film, each step of the way, it can't not be like this is almost bigger than the Super Bowl for most people.
It's like the Olympics.
I'm probably not watching the Super Bowl.
It's like the Olympics.
It's like the Olympics.
No,
I think.
No. I skip a lot of the Olympics. Maybe the winter ones I'll watch a little bit, but that's about it.
It's like the opening ceremony for the Olympics. That's what
Avengers
it
is like the Summer Olympics for movies, because it comes out.
Yeah. So it's hard not to be at 100 degrees. I mean, there's so many questions that you want answered, and they really cliffhang this whole climactic ending very well. So,
yep. I guess if everyone's doing 100, I'm gonna be right there with you guys.
I mean, like gonna do a 99.9,
95 for me. Yeah, I'm sweating. I mean, like this trailer. I think back to that one that Levi had mentioned, and kind of thinking back to like where Tony and they're doing that kind of like Nick Fury has like we had an idea, and they kind of go through all the Avengers saying the lines, and Tony's sitting there with like his hands, and he's crying on a planet, and he's like covered in ash and all that, and then showing the ship and how different that trailer is from this one, where it's like we already lost, and then Cap having that really good moment with Widow where he says like it'll work, and she's like well, how do you know that? He's like, I don't know what I'll do if it doesn't. And it's like Cap's like, I'm all in, baby. So, and he's also shaved. He's looking great. Cap, you're good at, get rid of that beard, Cap. You look better without it.
I like the beard.
No, lose the beard. He's too Thor Ragnarok now. Let's differentiate him. All right. Also, what's Thor doing? He's just pouting, sitting around. Big baby. Should have gone for the head, you dummy. Like, what was he gonna do? Push that axe all the way through his chest the whole time? I mean, like.
Yeah, I like how people barely blame Thor. They mostly blame Chris Pratt.
Oh yeah, it's he. But like that moment is just, even though like watching it again and again, it's kind of like when I watch Revenge of the Sith, and I know Anakin is gonna chop off Mace Windu's arm. I always think, if this only could be different, like 1 out of every 100 times I watch this, it's just different. And then in Avengers, if he just didn't lose his mind, and he's just like, oh, you know what? He killed Gamora. I can't save him. We'll kill him after we take the gauntlet off. Just wait like 5 seconds, Star-Lord, you dummy. Yeah, doomed the universe. Dumb guy. Anyway, yeah, we're excited about it. Let us know if you guys are excited about it too, and hopefully you've been able to watch it. Before we get into the last segment of the show here, though, I want to play a little game with the boys. I'm on here on a certain site, but I won't say which site because I don't want them to look it up. And we are going to try and guess what the percentages are. Yes, the critic consensus versus the audience scores for these percentages for these Marvel movies. You guys excited about this? You guys didn't know you're playing a game tonight, did you?
I hate games.
Perfect. In the past, Joe's always like, let's play a game. All right, so I'm going to give you guys each 2 guesses. I think we're going to kind of stick with the audience score because that's going to be a little more fun. Let's start with one that might be a little confusing. Avengers Age of Ultron. Do we have any guesses for the percentage of how much they liked it or didn't like it?
Okay, so general populace.
General populace. Don't be looking stuff up, boys. I can hear the typing. I'm just kidding.
I'd say it's somewhere right around 80, 70 something.
I want exact percentages, Joe.
Oh my gosh, 80%.
80%. Levi, do you have a guess?
79.
Both wrong. Go higher for both of you.
85.
Joe?
88.
Nope. 83. I'm not giving it to either of you. 83%.
I win.
The critic consensus is 75%. Look at that. I gave it a 9 out of 10, and people were like, how dare you? They were so angry.
Well, Levi was closer, so Levi gets a point.
Okay, we'll give it to him. All right, how about Guardians of the Galaxy? You guys want to take a guess on that one? The first one.
Yeah, I was like 80, 85.
Levi?
92.
That's Levi, 92%.
What the shit?
Are you serious?
Yep. Critics gave it 91%, but the audience gave it 92%. Holy crap, that's really high. Let's go with another one of my favorites. Captain America, the Winter Soldier. What do you think? Guess, boys.
It's an 84.
Joe?
78.
Higher for both of you.
What?
Yeah, I gotta go higher. Joe?
88.
I guess if we're doing like closest, Levi wins again with 92% on that.
Oh, 91.
89%. Just so you
Winter
guys know.
Soldier?
That's one of the highest rated ones.
Well,
yeah. People love a spy thriller, man. You just gotta bring it back. All right, let's go back to some OG times here. Not the full OG times. Marvel's The Avengers, just the first Avengers.
Oh, that one's more like a 76.
Joe?
yeah, I'll go with 80.
Higher for both of you.
Wow.
I was closer.
89.
Joe?
Yeah, I'm still sticking with like an 86.
That's Levi again. 91%. 91%. 92% for critics, apparently. I didn't think it really scored that high. Come on. Okay, let me give you one that might trip you guys up a little more. How about the original Thor? Levi's got 4 right now. Joe has a big old goose egg. So let's just keep that in mind. So Thor, 2011. Joe, you got a percentage for me?
80.
Levi?
70.
Lower for Joe, higher for Levi.
76.
That's Levi.
It is a 76.
Was it a race now? Huh?
Oh, yeah, 'cause I gotta move it along.
I'm not saying I cheated, but I do remember looking up, and it was on Rotten Tomatoes though that I got a 76. So
You never know what site I'm on. Could be any site.
he's on Metacritic. No, I'm just kidding.
How about the original, or just not the original, but the Incredible Hulk, the one starring everybody's favorites, Edward Norton. I watched that movie like 4 times in theaters. Percentages?
That's actually considered part of everything, huh?
Kind of. It's so loosely tied to it. The only thing that ties it together is like Tony Stark at the very end and Ross, who's like in Civil War and then in Infinity War for like a hot minute.
Oh, okay. What did it get? I'd call it like a 45.
64.
Higher for both. You guys are going so low. These are audience.
72. 72.
People love movies.
78.
That's finally for Joe, 70. Just a flat old 70. How about one that everybody still loves? The original Iron Man.
Oh, 98. 96. 96 is the final answer.
Joe?
89.
I couldn't do like a millionaire show. I'd be like, are you sure? Higher for Joe, lower for Levi.
Who's closer?
I can't tell you that.
92.
Joe?
91.
Joe takes it. That's 2. 91. That's
Son
very
of a
close.
biscuit.
93%.
Everybody knows that, Levi. Jeez.
Spider-Man Homecoming. Oh, this one's a little different. Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh, 93.
87.
Higher for Joe, lower for Levi.
It's like an 89, 88, somewhere in there.
90.
Well, Joe, you got to pick one.
It's less than 90. It's 88.
Yep.
Was it 88?
Yeah, it's 88. The critics gave it 92% though, and audiences scored it lower. Interesting. How about everybody's favorite, Thor Ragnarok?
40.
No, that movie did pretty well.
72.
Commercially and critically, it did pretty well actually. So I'd say like
72.
87.
That's 6 for Levi right there. 87%. Very good, Levi. Yeah.
I was gonna say we might not like it as much, but critically it did really well, and commercially it did really well.
92%.
Well, those critics are not doing their job.
Well, they were just. I think the thing is, after watching 2 sad, kind of like serious Thor movies, they were like, "It's fun. It's Guardians." How about the one that everybody loves, the absolute most, Black Panther?
Oh, 98.
93.
No, it's 98.
Lower for both.
96.
Joe?
91.
Joe's going to take that one. So that puts him at 4. Levi's at 6.
I call a
79% on that
what?
one.
Call a
79% for that for audience score and 97% for critic score. That's the most divisive one I've seen.
Wow.
And you know what? I get it. I do get it. It's a solid film, but it's not like almost perfect. Like
I thought everybody and their mother was over the moon for that movie, so I just
it made bonkers amount of money for sure. Joe, we watched it again recently, and it was fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I enjoy it. It's
a Marvel film.
It's a looky film. It's a looky look.
It looks great.
It looks good.
I love that freaking.
I liked it better in the theater.
Worst part of the whole movie is when he's in the tree about to pounce on all those people in the jungle, and you look and it's like, that wasn't real.
I like the concept. It's just hard to see. How about Avengers Infinity War?
89.
90 plus, 93.
Lower for Joe, higher for Levi.
91.
There you go, Joe. Very good. Catching up there. Catching up. We'll only just do
the first time with north of 90. Boom, boom.
We'll do just like 1 or 2 more. Ant-Man and the Wasp. Anybody got a guess for that one?
No.
85.
Joe?
80. No, you know what? Let's go lower. 72.
Higher for Joe, lower for Levi.
80.
What did Levi guess?
85.
Joe?
Yeah, 81.
Joe?
88. You know how I know? Because I looked it up. Rotten Tomatoes, 88%. Metacritic, 70%. I win. I am 7.2.
First off, I said lower than Levi's, and it was at 85.
I know.
We're giving it to Levi, 78%.
That low, huh?
Yeah, it's funny to look at these. Like for Captain Marvel, they've got 93%. Avengers Endgame, 99%. So like, is that just like the hype? Like, you know, people are like, it's incredible. It's like, did you see it? No. It must.
What are you looking at for all these?
I am looking at Rotten Tomatoes. Marvel's Iron Fist, 37%. Luke Cage got 88%.
Yikes.
Yeah, Jessica Jones, 88%. Daredevil, 91%. Which, in some other news too, it sounds like in January we're getting our second season of The Punisher, and then in February it will be canceled. Did
you hear that they already premiered Far From Home?
They already what?
To a select group of people. Yeah,
I wonder
because they were originally Marvel was going to premiere Endgame on a Saturday, and then they were going to do like Spider-Man the next day, but then they decided not to do Spider-Man worldwide and just like for a select group of people.
You're talking about the trailer.
The trailer, yes.
Yes, because it's not like the movie's done and they're like, 5 people get to watch it. They're like, oh man, that was a great movie. Yeah. No, I heard that there was some shenanigans going on with that. They'll figure it out. They shouldn't release that one before this, because not only does it undercut this movie, but it's also after this movie, like in our world in real time. It's like in July, so it's like, just give it time. And that's why they didn't want to show us before like Captain Marvel stuff. They have to show the Captain Marvel stuff.
Yeah, I hope that the Spider-Man stuff is just very also low key and just like let the stories play out first before you show a bunch of like Jake Gyllenhaal running around. And
I agree. Put more low key in Spider-Man. That'd be just Tom Holland running around with freaking Tom Hiddleston, bunch of Toms hanging out together. I'm Tom. No, I'm Tom. Yeah, sorry. That's perfect examples of both. Well, good job, guys. You're both winners, even though I think Levi took it by just a little bit. Kind of fun to look over these things. Again, they're just scores. Not really that big of a deal. But it's interesting to see how these differences between like the audience scores versus the critic scores, especially on Black Panther. I'm really surprised that that's as low as it is. 79% seems low, but
Yeah, I call for a recount.
Levi's like, call for a recount. I won, but call for a recount anyway. Yeah, well, believe it or not, gentlemen, it is time to get into that segment of the show that I like to call, Levi likes to call, Joe likes to call. Somebody hit me with it. I don't care.
Time Killers.
That's right. It's time for Time Killers. Games been playing, the movies been viewing, TV shows we've been watching. Joe, because you said it first, what have you been killing time with, bud?
Do you even need to ask me?
I know, but I don't want to just like assume every time and then you'd be like, oh, I never asked.
Blackout big time, but I'll tell you what, I'm going to have a good one for next week.
Oh, yeah, you will.
One of the biggest Venom fans there is.
Yeah, it didn't see it
came out this week. Didn't see it in theaters. I was on my honeymoon. Like, I'm going to drag my wife to.
But it was out for like weeks after it, though. Like, it wasn't.
Life
What comes out next week? Is there a Venom game coming out that I didn't know?
No, this week Venom came out on digital.
That would be incredible, Levi, if a Venom game came out, first off. And second off, like, you didn't know about it. Like, the marketing wasn't good enough. Like, there's a Spider-Man one in the same year as a Venom game. Like,
Venom the movie starring Eminem.
Tom Hardy does the voice for Venom in the game. Oh, my God. Yes, please. Okay, cool. So there you go, playing some Blackout. How about you, Levi? What have you been killing time with?
Overwatch, Smash, and Pokemon.
Who's your favorite Smash character?
Well, I've only unlocked a handful so far, but I can't tell you that. I'm predicting it's going to be Cloud again or Pokemon Trainer.
Okay.
Sonic all the way.
I haven't gotten a Pokemon that's like my favorite yet. I do really like Villager's kit though. It's pretty fun.
Oh, screw Villager, man. I hate Villager.
I love creating that tree and like knocking it on people. That's just fun.
His over A is a freaking, he just drops a bowling ball.
And I hate the freaking height, like the fire hydrant kills me. I hate it.
Oh, okay. Isn't that a Pac-Man thing?
No, the fire hydrant where like, or like they get on it and like it shoots over.
The mailbox thing?
Is it a mailbox? Oh.
Yeah. Or whatever. You can shoot it off by itself or you can ride it.
Yeah, I thought it's a...
Is it a mailbox? Maybe it is a fire hydrant, but it's like that brown little tree thing that's got the face.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, whatever that is.
What is your favorite so far?
Ooh,
Did you unlock everybody?
No, I haven't unlocked everybody. I found a fast way to do it, though. So you play World of Light for like 10 minutes, Levi. You do some stuff in there, and then you back out, and then when you get to the main screen, usually after a certain amount of like distance traveled, I think, in there, or time spent in there, a new challenger will approach, or if you play like a bunch of just regular matches.
I played a lot of matches with the kids and we kept unlocking them. Well, to be honest, did not unlock them at first. They kicked my ass.
Yeah, and some of them do. You're like,
I had to go back in and do it. So
yeah, it's like, oh crap. Like, I'll wait for you to come back around next time. Like, I played against Pokemon Trainer tonight in Ivysaur, which I think they revoiced for some odd reason. I don't know. It sounds different, but Ivysaur just destroyed me. I was like.
And Squirtle, I fought Squirtle in one of the missions in the World of Light, and he wrecked my house. So I love that game. Sorry.
Yeah, I love King K. Rool. Probably is one of my favorites right now. Big crocodile man with a crown and a blunderbuss. Freaking.
Hold up. You like in this game? I need to watch your review in progress. So a little bit of spoiler, but you like this game. You weren't so hyped about it at first when we first talked about Smash coming out. You were kind of like,
I love Smash. You can kind of see Ness here just a little bit. I loved that first game so much, and I loved Melee. I loved Brawl, and then I got out of it because of Wii U, because I didn't get the Wii U. So I wasn't at that same level because I was like, But then when they started to like come out with like who all was going to be in the game, and then they were going to add on more characters because I thought it was just going to be like everyone from the other games, which is great and amazing, but I still wanted more. And then on top of that, now they're like Joker from Persona is going to be in here. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, that is just insane to me. So this game, it also just feels so good. Like, I'm still playing with like this configuration. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's like the Joy-Con one where, so I don't have a GameCube controller that I have hooked up, but I still really love it. It feels really good. I just want to play it with other people.
Little review. I got the wireless GameCube controller. I personally like the Pro controller better. It feels smoother. The GameCube controller I think it was right for its time.
Oh.
But now it just feels really clunky.
Oh.
Yeah.
Good review, Levi. Look at that. Okay, maybe I should get a Pro controller. Except those things are freaking expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, which if you try to do the dongle connection thing, I have my one here for a wired connection for the internet, so I don't know if I could do both at the same time. So I was like, I know I'm gonna do that. But anyway, I really have been enjoying it personally. There's just so much to love about this game, and there's just so many characters and so many things to unlock. It's just like, and also it's really pretty. It runs really well. It's super duper smooth.
Even on handheld mode, you can just pick it up and it's like.
Okay, see, I never do that. I never put it in handheld mode. Maybe I will.
You don't retire to your bed and you're like, no.
No, because my bed is like right there, and my TV's like right here. I don't have to retire to it. But maybe King K. Rool. I love Marth still. Fox is still incredible. I've been playing a lot of Bowser too. Something about his over B. He does that thing where he grabs him, jumps up, and slams him like with his body, or like elbow drops him. But his final smash, where he turns into Giga Bowser, just huge in the background, and then you can aim up a shot with his fist, and if you hit him properly, you can either knock him off the stage or it just smashes them into the screen and they fall off. It's so good. Like, it's like I just smashed you out of this world.
Did they get rid of that Donkey Kong where you like pick you up and run off the screen? Because I was trying to do that to the kids and I couldn't do it.
You could still do it. It's a little different. He used to pick you up and hold you like this. Now he like flips you onto like his shoulder, like a King Kong style thing or something. He can still do it. People can get out of it pretty quickly. It's not like when we were kids, Levi, where you grab someone, you could just like always murder with it. You just grab them, you're just like,
yeah.
Bowser now, when you do that over B, like I was talking about, where you smash them into the ground, you will die first before them for some reason. So like if you try to do that off the edge to like take them out like on a stock or something, you'll also go. Probably
for pro reasons, I'm assuming they did that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that sucks.
I gotta get your friend code so we can play some online.
Yeah, I have to get I haven't bought the online yet. I was waiting for I wanted someone to play with first, but I want to get DDD, Big Penguin, Big Hammer. What can I say? I love him. Joe, is there any character that you said Sonic? Is that the one you think you'd play as the most?
I'm a little bummed that
a yes?
Adult Link's kit was moved just to young Link, and then old Link has just like a new kit from Breath of the Wild, which is fine, but I miss being old Link and like being able to like slingshot into the or zip was like a hook shot into this level.
Sure. So. Yeah, the hook shot is gone. I was thinking about that too. They also took away some of the power of his up and down A, it seems like. Yep. But the turnaround is that like you can detonate your bombs whenever now, which is kind of fun, because I didn't have that explained to me, but because I played Breath of the Wild, I threw the bomb and I was like, what if I hit down B again? And then I just wish you could blow it up in someone else's hand. That'd be cool.
I did not know that you could detonate it yourself. It took me a long time to figure that out.
I was like, oh, this is so cool. I also just love his running jump attack A, or it was a long time ago when they added that, like if you hold the over A smash, he can do the 1 and then the 2, or running, when he runs and does A, he'll jump with it. So I don't feel so bad. And his up B, man, I feel like it just brings you in more than ever before. Because like in the past, you might hit him like once or twice. Now it just like it gravitationally pulls them in, and they're just sucked into the whole combo.
Well, and Sheik is different now too. They changed her up a bit. Like her over B is now like this thing that goes out and detonates, like a kind of like it's like a whip that detonates.
Oh.
And then her knives are gone, so it's weird.
I actually saw the needles.
Was it? Oh, yeah.
Just hold B, right? Hold B. Is that how you do it?
I think so.
Throw B. Joe, are you Sonic? Is it still? I didn't get a confirmation while you're eating your pizza.
Sorry, you asked me your question earlier. I must have missed it. Yeah, I stepped away. Got a piece of pizza. I felt like I was listening to a podcast in itself right here.
Well, thank you. I'll remember this next time you're going off about freaking Blackout. I'll just step away.
I knew I'd get something like that. But yeah, I was watching you stream a little bit, pal. And Sonic is pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Is that the one you would probably play the most, or was there anyone else that you saw where you're like, oh,
I don't even know the roster. I just know that Sonic was a childhood favorite.
Name anybody and they're in the game. Just name anything and anything. It'll be Mickey Mouse. He'll be in there.
Well,
speaking of Sonic, did you guys talk about that abomination?
Oh, we didn't talk about the reveal for the poster for the trailer, or just the poster, not the trailer.
Save it for next week.
People are freaking out about it. I just don't really care. I'm just like, you know what? Wait for the movie. There's Joe. You can look it up quick. They debuted kind of a silhouetted picture of Sonic, and he's kind of like crazy furry and stuff like that. I don't know. There's like a lot of.
Are you sure it's Sonic, or is it that red version?
No, it's not Knuckles. It's Sonic.
It's Sonic. Yeah.
Joe, that's a really good troll question. Just like, excuse me, hi.
Yeah, I couldn't even remember the name. Good on you, Knuckles, right?
Knuckles is my favorite.
Where's that Tailspin?
There was a Sega game that my cousins had where you could like play in an open world with the Sonic characters, and I remember thinking Knuckles was so cool because he could fly. Like you just take it out, and he would just fly around. He would be a good Smash character. Knuckles, when, please. Yeah, but basically, kind of bleeding into my own Timekillers here. I've been playing a lot of Super Smash Bros. As well. I've really been enjoying it. It's really good. There's some really infuriating World of Light stuff, Levi.
Yes. Oh my God.
Some of it's
some
just
of those
BS.
are too much.
It's just impossible. It almost seems impossible. Some of it's like, okay, we'll come back to this when my power level's higher or whatever the heck. So yeah, I've been playing that a bunch. Put out that review in progress for it. You should check it out. Hopefully it's somewhere you can find it. And people have been asking me to do another one of those videos where I guess about the percentages or the chances for the DLC characters coming down the line now that Joker has been announced, which a lot of people think that means Persona 5 will come to Switch as a port. And I think as a business decision, if Nintendo is going to put anyone in this game, it's going to be people that promote their platform. So that makes sense to me now, because it was like, at first, why would they put Joker in this game? And now it's like, well, if they do a port now, people be like, oh, Joker's in Smash, and now he's got his game on this, console. Makes sense, right? It's business synergy. So I'm taking out my personal bias and put the synergy in. So if you guys have any thoughts on that, you send those ideas my way, because people want another one of those. I guess it'll be great. Everyone will be so happy. People want Waluigi so badly. Oh gosh, Levi, would you want Waluigi in this game if they could put him in? Like honestly,
Nah, don't care.
Okay, Joe, how about you?
I don't even know what that is.
Oh, cool. He's like Luigi's evil, like enemy.
Oh yeah, okay. No,
purple guy. He's or purple hat and
He's
stuff.
always going like, wow, wow, wow.
Yeah, I like Waluigi. I wish he were in it, but it's like I don't think I'd play him all the time personally. Like I have my favorites. I really dig. So sorry, Waluigi. I'm sorry. Yeah, but basically that. I just watched Mad Max Fury Road last night. I did a commentary on it, so people look for that. Still a good movie. I actually found some really interesting facts about it. One of the coolest facts, I think, was George Miller's wife was the one that they chose for the edit on it. So she had like 3 months and looked over like hundreds of hours of footage, and she had never edited an action movie before. And she kind of asked George, like, why do you want me to edit it? And he's like, well, if a guy did it, it would look like just any other action movie. But because you're going to do it, it's going to look different. And I think it really shows in that final product, which still holds up pretty well, because over 80% of it, I guess, was practical effects, like just kind of enhancing the surroundings with like actual.
Is that series going anywhere? Like,
great question, Levi. I heard a while ago that he had Tom Hardy had signed on for 3 more, but the thing is, it's been a while, so it's like, where, like, come on, like, where? I just want to know when the next one's coming, because it's a good movie. Like, I think it's great, but I want to see more of it. And man, the rev of the engines alone, I just like, I just want to go watch it in the theater again. It's just like, I'm not even a car guy, but I was like, yeah, let's go to the apocalypse together. Let's go to Valhalla, witness me and all that. So yeah, I still really got a kick out of that. But I was telling Joe this at the beginning. I've been like catching up on The Ranch, which is on Netflix. The show is really stressful and depressing, and I watch it like too much. And the only good thing about that show to me is Sam Elliott. I watch it, Joe, and I'm like, you're the only person on this show that I buy who is actually this character. Like everybody else, like I kind of buy, but like I'm like, you are this disenfranchised old rancher who just hates everything and everyone.
That's a funny coincidence. I was told by a coworker recently to watch that show, and I was like, no, I don't want to watch another That 70s Show. And she's like, no, it's not that.
It's not a comedy, Levi. Do not go in thinking that. They have a laugh track, but it is like they use it too much and they swear too frequently where it doesn't make sense on a lot of them. Like the writing isn't great, but there's something oddly compelling about it. I don't know what it is. It's kind of like Sabrina. Like there's something mesmerizing about this show. And I'm like, what is it? Like, But it does feel like a That 70s Show reunion, Levi, especially when they add in other characters from That 70s Show, other actors from it.
Yeah, like his baby mama's the parents is the one is his mom, or her mom is
Red and what's
Kitty.
her name?
Yeah, she played Kitty on That
Kitty.
70s Show.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Kitty. And she's just Kitty again. And Red, if you see him, he's just, it's like, just play yourself. Just play
Red, Red played a guy dying of cancer. They bought the ranch from him. Oh my God, am I spoiling everything? I am.
Oh
so
yeah,
sorry.
this show that everybody loves, Joe.
It's fun to watch. I kind of get along with it, but it does do this. Jimmy's right. Peak Valley, Peak Valley, 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 Peak Valley, Peak Valley.
So Levi, if you watch it, just have another show to watch that like is a cleanser because it's just kind of depressing because most of them end on like a really sad note. It's never like I feel better.
Weird.
It's like everybody's gonna die or like the whole ranch is going under, and it's like, oh, is it?
I'll watch an episode of that and then I'll go back to some Parks and Rec and then I'll go back.
Dude, yeah. And the thing is, I was thinking about it, like logistically, like they could keep joking about like so I care about cows that don't exist. I care about a ranch that doesn't exist in the show. So kudos to them. But like the show is still continuing. So even if the ranch fails, they'll still have the show, The Ranch. Like, like they're still gonna do like they'll be like, we moved to another ranch, So I'm like, okay, but in the moment, I feel it because it's just so freaking intense. It's like a sitcom that's really sad.
It is.
I've never seen anything like it, honestly.
It gets me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mind it.
Speaking of Parks and Rec, have you guys seen it?
Yeah.
That's also part of my Timekillers. We've been watching a lot of that. Season 5 now.
And Perkins.
First time through. Yes. Rob Lowe is so funny. I love it.
That is literally my favorite song.
It's a good show. Yeah, it's a good show. I'm sad I slept on it for so long.
Well, my problem, I slept on it a long time too, Levi, but it's because when I first saw it, it was at the very beginning of that show. It is just The Office with a
It was
different
rough.
cast.
It was
is
rough.
just The Office. And if you watch the first season, like the 6 episodes of like the American Office, also very rough.
Yep.
There's like, especially one where Michael Scott is incredibly racist. And like, it's just so hard to watch. You're like, But yeah, Parks and Rec, the thing with they kind of followed that Office trajectory, like parallel, but then they just went and did their just the wackiest, craziest, like whatever idea sticks idea. Like, where Office kept just like, yep, we're still in an office. Parks and Rec was like, we'll do anything we want to do. We just gonna be nuts. So, but yeah, that show gets better over time. And freaking Ron Swanson, man, one of the greats, man. He's great. Joe, that's like the reason you'd watch that show is that guy, because one of his best lines is he goes into a cafe, he sits down, and he says to him, he's like, I want all of your eggs and bacon. And the guy's like, he's like, excuse me, son, I'm afraid you misunderstood me. I said I want all of your eggs and bacon. Please bring it out right now. Like,
He's such a man.
Yeah, he's like a man's man.
Yeah, like I like him out of that. I don't.
He's the one to watch, Joe.
Yeah,
if you're not into it.
I liked him a lot, and his character funny, great. Yeah, I get it. I mean, he's a meme factory essentially, but
yeah,
when you it just doesn't like sink its claws into me and make me come back over and over. So,
what's the name, Levi, of Amy Poehler's? Well, not Amy Poehler in real life, but Amy Poehler's boyfriend in the show turned husband.
Oh, Matt.
Matt.
I don't know what his real name is, but
that guy, I love him because there's many times in that show, because there's so many weird things that go on, that he kind of almost is like speaking for the audience, because they love that little pony, Lil Sebastian.
Yes.
And he'll just like, he'll look at the camera or he'll just be like, I don't know why everybody loves this thing like so much. Like he just doesn't get it. Like he's an outsider for so long. And he's like, what is happening with this town? This town makes no sense to me. And I really love him in that one. He's great.
Really do not care about Aziz Ansari at all.
Oh yeah, no, get rid of him. Like,
I am not a fan of that character at all.
And his Rufio, not Rufio.
Oh, John Ralphio.
Ralphio. Oh my, like he plays the character well, but I just hate. Yeah, Joe. If you saw those guys, Joe, you'd be out for that show for sure. You'd be like, no thanks. Yeah. What do you think about Chris Pratt and I can't remember her name.
What's her name? Shit.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's at the top of my head.
Definitely gonna quickly check.
Oh, what's her name? Oh, Aubrey Plaza.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's I like it because it's different. It's they're both like trashy and they're both like moody in their own way, and like Chris is like uppity and mouse rat and
Yeah. He's
weird
show.
Weird in that show though.
Yeah, he's weird. I think that's where he does the best. I prefer him in that as opposed to like Jurassic World or Star-Lord, because I think he can still play like the macho man, but I think it's better when he's just like the big goofball. I feel like
he's so goofy.
And that's where I saw him first though, so that's unfair to me because that's like my own bias I put on that. So maybe that's why I just hate seeing him.
I'll say not once watching this show have I ever thought of Star-Lord. Like I've never put that in there and just been like, oh, it's Star-Lord,
There's a good moment, and I don't know if you've seen it yet, Levi, but there's like a jump in seasons where they go to London for a second, and he loses a ton of weight, like almost in like just a few weeks. He loses like 50 pounds because he's getting cut to be Star-Lord, and Amy Poehler's boyfriend in the show is like, "Hey man, have you lost weight?" And he's like, "Yeah, I lost like 50 pounds. I could just cut beer out of my my diet like completely." So they're like, but yeah, he's like looking jacked. Like he's just like goes from like the fat dude to be just like, you're like, oh my god, because that was one of the things I think Marvel said, like no beer, like not doing beer anymore. Like it's like so yeah, must have been hard for him. Yeah, but there you go. Killing time, baby. Has that been everything? Oh, also, I want to mention this quickly. I have played a little Blackout with Joe because I finally have a copy now because Joe had an extra one, so we made a deal. I haven't played as much Blackout with him as I think he wants me to, but I will say this: I love Team Deathmatch, baby. I love it so much. Like that Treyarch, they make the best Call of Duties just like mechanically because it feels good. And now watching their health bars go down too, that's great. And then when you get a good kill or something, they put all these little medals on there. It's like ding, 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 and you're like, oh, I did something very good right there. It's like you're like, oh, it's Comeback and Kingslayer, and you're like, I kind of suck, but I killed this one dude. It's like ding, ding, and you're like, yeah, my dog's gonna go kill people. And I love playing as Nomad because he's got these little trip mines you can set out, and then dog go kill people. So somebody blows up a trip mine, dog kills somebody, you kill somebody else. High efficiency. That is what I'm going for. I'm trying to kill as many people simultaneously as I possibly can. So it's really great. But you do watch a lot of people just run right into these kill boxes where you know they're about to die. Like they watched a person die in front of them, but like a lemming, they're like, I'll get him. And they like run and he's just dead. And you're like,
Leroy Jenkins!
No, for sure. It's just like, guys, maybe a new strategy. And they're like, nah, I'm going to run straight in. It's like, good.
Unless it's me, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, but Joe's been seeing my KDR. It's not too shabby, huh?
Jimmy's dang near outdoing me, and I will say when Jimmy plays Blackout, he does a really good job. I mean,
I keep calm under pressure.
Yeah, you're a tactical guy.
Jimmy's always been pretty good at shooters, I'll say.
Thanks, yeah. I appreciate it. Last time I got into a shooter like this was Titanfall 2, which feels nice because like Far Cry is a shooter, but it's not like a shooter like this. It's just nice to go back to this and not have people like flying over the top because like I love Titanfall 2. I think it's like one of the greatest shooters of all time. But going back to that was the most intimidating thing in the world because you just died and you'd like look at the kill cam. Like, he flew over my head and shot me. You're like,
he's across the map. How do you do it?
Yeah, exactly. With the sniper rifles in that game, they're just like jump up in the air, boom, and it's like, I had active camo on. They're like, didn't matter. Like, you know, so.
Titanfall is. I mean,
Tittyfall. I don't miss you.
I love Titanfall. Respawn. When do we get to see your Star Wars game? Yeah, I still want to go over to Respawn. Those guys are so cool. Anyway, yeah, but it's been fun. So I do enjoy team deathmatch. That's just kind of my thing. But I'll play more Blackout with you guys, Joe. Maybe I'll get interested and more invested. I just love the progression in team deathmatch. I'm always unlocking something. Yeah. Like every round, it's like you.
I just really like the variability and the choice decision making with a team and just the way every match is a little different because of your choices and it does feel good when you do well. Like, you know, a top 5, I don't count it as a win, but that's pretty dang good. And they recently just did a bunch of updates. In fact, yesterday, as we're recording this, would have been the 11th. They did a big update, changed the map. They added some things which are pretty cool. Then they nerfed and buffed some things to kind of balance the guns a little better. And they made a bunch of sound changes and updates, so the sound is a little better. I played just a little bit last night. Hopefully play some tonight maybe, but they did a good job. And I like how they're varying the map, updating it seasonally. I think a winter one's going to come out. They got this fall one out a little late, but yeah, I just think they've taken the attitude of let's do what other multiplayers have done and kind of progress the style of it. And I think new weapons are coming out as well. There's like a yacht out on the ocean that you can go to now. It's pretty cool. So they're gonna support it even more than they have in the past on other games, maybe. So
yeah, we'll see next time, like next year at this time. I wonder if it'll still be the same, or if the next Call of Duty will have a new battle royale, and they'll be like what kind of competing things. It'll be interesting to see that, and if this Call of Duty also gets nominated for ongoing game at the Game Awards, you're like, oh, it's got a battle royale. It's been going all year round, or Monster Hunter might. Yeah, Joe, I wish I loved something like you love Blackout, because like, and I don't joke about this. People who are listening and watching, Joe has played this game for consecutively like 30 days. And it's not like, oh, did he take a break? Like no, like every night, like every night, like yeah,
maybe a little less than that, but yeah.
No,
like
but like
loser. No, just kidding.
3 weeks straight.
I wish I loved it because like Joe, he loves the intrinsic feeling to it, and I understand that to some degree. I get that. You know?
Did you guys
It'll
play
fade a little bit, but
Monster
I like
Hunter
Team
for like
Deathmatch.
65 days though?
Monster Hunter was not that. What we'd do is like it'd be like 3 or 4 days straight, but it'd be like for 7 or 8 hours because you'd start to be like, we'll start at like 8 or 9, and then it'd be like, okay, so it's like 3 a.m. You're like,
you haven't blinked in 3 hours.
You're like, so we've hunted the Odegair into extinction, but we have a new quest for it. Let's just hammer one out quick. And it's just like, oh god, like, but I love it. I'm gonna love that game. Yeah, I guess Monster Hunter would be like that for me. But I just when I step away from it, I just need a break. But with Blackout, like you said, Joe, it's just every match is different, so it's not like the same thing every time.
Yeah,
which is good. That's good too. Yeah, well, let's just move into the last segment of the show here so we can all get to the games we want to play because I know Joe's just he's waiting for that good old Blackout. I can hear him calling. I can hear the breath start to get heavier. But we're moving into community feedback questions. Yeah, there it is. He's like, wrap it up.
no.
This one comes from our Discord, Missile Mage, who's just so great. Missile Mage, thank you. You know what, man? Thank you for writing in every week. Thank you.
On top of it.
He's on top of it. He's always writing in. He's always answering the questions and stuff too, like he did tonight.
I like it.
We love you, buddy. Thank you. He asks us this: with movie trailers, what's your opinion on showing things that aren't in the film? Obviously, this is frowned upon in gaming, but movies are different.
Yeah, like the Hulk in that main fight scene of Infinity War. He wasn't there.
That whole shot, though, is not in that movie at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Levi, how do you feel about that, man? Having stuff like in these movie trailers that aren't actually there.
I think it bums me out because if it's something that is really cool and appealing to you and then it doesn't show up, it's like, what, did I miss it? Did I look up? Did I blink? Or
sure.
Okay. It feels like a lie.
Yeah, because there's been like some really memorable quotes from trailers, and it's like, that's not in there. What the hell, Harry Potter? You said this about Slytherin, and no, you didn't.
He's like, Voldemort is my father. And they like cut it from the trailer.
Pissed.
Is that true?
No, oh my god,
it's just an example.
J.K. Rowling's just writing that last book. She's like Star Wars in the background. She's like, I love that twist. She starts just writing it.
Yeah, that kind of infuriates me. And it also is a double-edged sword because it's like it also infuriates me when they show too much in trailers, and I'm like, well, I didn't have to go see the movie because that's how I felt with fucking Fantastic. Sorry, swear word. Fantastic Beasts. You don't have to see the movie; you can just watch the trailer, and all the good stuff's right in the trailer.
Really? Beasts too. They're still in the suitcase.
I'll save you 3 hours, kids. Go ahead.
Exactly. But Johnny Depp, we all love him so much. He's such a treasure. Joe, how about you, man? How do you feel about stuff in the trailers that isn't actually in the movies?
The Marvel Infinity War one's the first one that come to mind. Trying to think of another example. But sometimes it's not like it's so memorable that it really beats me up. But
I can help you if you want.
That was missing. What were you guys talking about?
Oh, that last shot in the first Avengers trailer, Leave Out for Infinity War, shows all of them running at the camera. They're all like doing this, and there's like trees and stuff.
What, the Hulkbuster?
No, it's like it's actual Hulk.
Oh, gotcha. That's probably like a rewind thing.
I wonder if that's just going to be in this movie. I was thinking about that. Do they do Wakanda battle again?
No, there are people in there that have already been. Oh, you're saying after they bring them back?
Yeah, I don't exactly.
All right.
Give
me another example.
My favorite one is Thor. Spoilers for Thor Ragnarok here. They show him having 2 blue eyes when he lands. They also show Hela like catching the hammer in like New York or an alleyway as opposed to Norway with that bullshit green screen. Which I will swear about that because that pisses me off so much. But stuff like that, Joe. So you're kind of like,
yeah.
So it sounds like Marvel's the biggest offender here, but I've seen it done plenty of times in other movies.
Yeah,
I can't necessarily remember. Sometimes they're not such a big deal. I don't really like labor over watching trailers, and I don't watch a lot of like just standard cable TV, so I don't see a lot of the previews unless it's a really good marketing where it's just everywhere. But Yeah, so I don't know. Obviously, yeah, it kind of bums you out if it is a special moment that you're like, oh, that's gonna be so cool in the movie, and it doesn't happen. You're just like, wow, they kind of they jazzed you up and psyched you out, and it was a lie.
There's a moment like that in Age of Ultron too, where at the very end he says there are no strings on me, and he kind of approaches the camera at an angled way, and I don't think that's in the movie. Like he does sing that song. Um, Yeah, I don't know. Levi makes a good point of saying it's like double edged because for me, I kind of like the misdirect sometimes because when I watch movies, like usually they show too much of like their action sequences. So I think like, oh, it might be perilous and the heroes are in turmoil right now, but I know the big bridge train action sequence is coming and I saw them running along the top of it. So it's like I know it's coming because I can like I remember these trailers. I try not to, but I'm like just do. So I don't mind it, I guess, as much. But at the same time, you're right. If you are looking forward to something and it's just not in there, except after when I walked out of Avengers, I didn't think about that shot where they're all running towards the screen.
No, I didn't. I think it was better without Banner turning into the Hulk. It kind of,
just like
come on, Hulk out, man, come on, and he didn't do it. And you're just like, wow.
I don't want to say this is the best part of that whole movie, but it might be. But like when Thor, Groot, and Rocket show up, it feels like 1,000 people show up. Like when he shows up and it changes the tide of that battle, and it's just like the music goes, and it's just like it's only 3 people, but it feels like a whole army just showed up. Like it's just like, yeah.
Thor gets his redemption there, as opposed, you kind of leave Ragnarok like, wow, okay.
Yeah, his greatest qualities are so underutilized; it really pisses me off.
Yeah,
God of Thunder brought low by a taser. How does that work?
Thor is such a cool character, and they just get it right.
Yeah. But to answer your question, Missile Mage, you know what? I'm okay with it. I get where a game it's worse because like you're expecting to play that moment in the game, and you're like you want that because you kind of bought into that, and it's obviously it's more expensive. But with movies, I guess it really depends on what it is. Like so, for instance, in Avengers, they also do a cut between Tony saying, "Tell me his name again," and then it cuts to Gamora saying Thanos, but she's explaining that to a completely different group. So like they're not sitting in the same room talking about this, right? So that's why this new trailer could be a complete misdirect. All the stuff we're seeing could be like they might not actually see Ant-Man on the screen, when he stands up or whatever. Like could be anything. So great question. I really like that one. Thank you. Also, this one comes in. She's a stumbling on here, but it's Katie, our community manager for our Discord. Just a straight up question, boys. What's your favorite pop? Joe, what's your favorite pop? It's perfect because I didn't plan any of this, but it's like I'm a mastermind.
Ironic you asked that, Jimmy. Canada Dry ginger ale. Cold, cool, crisp, refreshing. Canada Dry.
Joe, did you make up that catchphrase for it? Like, did you really make that up?
That's good. It's just what?
So no. Canada Dry.
Have you ever had a Canada Dry? It just the words flow out of your mouth after a sip.
I want Canada Dry to hire us both because I'll just ask the questions. I'll be like, "What is this magical drink?" And then you'll be like, "It's cold, cool, refreshing, crisp Canada Dry." Diet Canada Dry sometimes. But
those words just flow out of your mouth after the first sip. It's natural, just like the ingredients in cool, crisp Canada Dry.
Please don't hire Sam Elliott to do this commercial much better than we could. Cool.
Oh my god. Oh, it'd be epic. I mean, he already does the Coors stuff. With Coors.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
What a good for him. He could quit the ranch and just do voiceover, and I think he'd make a killing.
Dude, I'm telling you, Ram needs to bring him back for the truck commercials.
Yeah, he's perfect for that. Like when I see him on the show, I'm like, you're perfect for this.
It's like 80% of the reason I bought a Ram truck.
I just see like he pulls
I
up.
thought Sam Elliott would be there to hand me the keys. It didn't happen.
He's like Post-it notes.
Who's Sam Elliott?
Sam Elliott.
Joe, don't even no. The fact he has to ask that question just Levi.
He's the old guy. If you watch The Ranch, Levi, you'll see he's the father on The Ranch. You might remember him from such movies as the first Ghost Rider, which he played the old horseman Ghost Rider. Not a lot of people remember him for that. He also is in Parks and Rec, Levi. He is basically part of it. Joe, you can watch Parks and Rec. He's in Parks and Rec. He's Ron Swanson's like alter ego almost, or like I was gonna say, it's kind of like his rival, but he's very like holistic and natural. So he's like a man's man, but he'll just be like, yoga is like the best thing on the planet. You know, like he's that.
Oh, they must have introduced him yet.
He's been in a few times, Levi. I think he's got longer hair in that.
I'm mustache. In season 5, so I don't think he's in quite yet.
You probably have seen him.
Him in the ranch is great. Except for the real serious moments, he almost brings you to tears.
That's because he's the best actor on that whole show.
Well, duh, but he was also in A Star Is Born.
Ashton Kutcher isn't the best actor on that show.
I don't buy it. Also, like when he gets angry,
he's just like, himself from that 70s show.
Yeah, when he gets emotional and he starts swearing too much, I just don't buy it at all. Or when he gets angry and he'll storm off with like a gun in his hand. I'm like Kelso. I'm like, here he goes.
Jackie.
All I can think about
damn it, Jackie.
Where he shoots a flare and it lands on top of this building and it sets it on fire. Then he's like, and then I shot another flare because you fight fire with fire. And then he's like, but then I shot off another flare to warn everybody about the fire. So it's like every time I see him, I just keep thinking.
Okay, so there's a new season out that I haven't seen.
Part 6.
Yeah, the burn thing I remember, but
Oh no, that's from that 70s show, the fire thing. But they also had a fire season in different things, Joe. Different things. Yeah. That's why you think it'd be the same thing.
Has anybody seen the Star Is Born?
I haven't. I've heard good things.
No, I heard it's good things, and I love Gaga. So
Sam Elliott's in that.
I heard Bradley Cooper got nominated for a Grammy on it, and I was thinking
he directed too.
It'd be great if he won it. And there's like these other people who are like, my whole life is music. Can you come in and do one musical thing? And he's just yeah. It's like Anne Hathaway with her Oscar. Gotcha, Anne. You can't do 15 minutes of something and get an Oscar, but apparently you can. It's all politics.
What did she get an Oscar for?
Les Miserables.
Oh.
I like Anne Hathaway.
I don't. I find her very insufferable personally. But she plays characters that are insufferable for me. I don't know. She peaked in Princess Diaries.
Anne Hathaway is just an American version of Keira Knightley.
That's sure, man. I guess so. I don't know. Who is also? I would take full responsibility for this. Nutcracker bombed.
I saw that. It was terrible.
I thought it was gonna make $1 billion. It did not even turn a profit at all, and I was like, I thought this was gonna do better. But Keira Knightley's in that.
Saw at Disney was pretty good.
Yeah, Keira Knightley, but like she's in it. And she's got this weird voice, and that whole movie was, is bloated. That's too bad. Disney has 3 things. They've got Star Wars, they've got Marvel, and then they've got their like young teen adult, like Wrinkle in Time, Artemis Fowl's coming up. Those movies that just don't seem to do well, but they just keep making them.
Morgan Freeman's like, dude, don't worry. You got 1 day of shooting, not even like maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah. Like for him, I wonder if at this point, they're just people calling him and he's like, how long is it? Like 1 day? Sure. How much are you going to give me? Because I'm Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Like,
and they're like, you know what? You'll actually be in the trailer more than you'll be in the actual movie.
Yeah. There's another guy who could sell you anything, Morgan Freeman. Like, he'd be good in a Ram truck commercial. Wouldn't be the same, Joe, I know, but it'd be more spiritual, I think.
Sound it makes when it rolls over the hills.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. I only say spiritual because he played God in Bruce Almighty, and I just can't not. Every time he talks out, I just look like he was a perfect like God. And I'm like, that's fun. Okay. Yeah.
Sam Elliott does such.
The sound it makes as it rolls over the hills. Sounds like America.
That actually legitimately cracked me up.
That's really good. Yeah. If you Ram, if you want to hire Levi while the Canada Dry hire us, folks do
I'll
that.
do your writing for you, sure.
That'd be great. Levi's like, what is it? The sound as it goes over the hills, or the amber waves of grain. He's like, I'm just working in the entire national anthem. Yeah, that'd be great. Wait. No, that's Oh Beautiful, or is that America the Beautiful? I don't want to screw this up because I don't want people to be like he doesn't. The national anthem is bombs bursting in air.
Yeah.
Apologies, everyone. We have a lot of songs here in America. Anyway, believe it or not, that's gonna do it for the show this week. I hope everybody had a good time. And if you ever have a question or a topic for us to just go on and on about, all you have to do is tweet the hashtag Critical Podcast to any of us. You can tweet at the official Critical Reviews Twitter account, which is @GoCritical. That's a capital G and a capital C. Or you can tweet at me personally on my account, which is @JimmyGood013. JimmyGood013. I did it. If you want to tweet at Joe, you can tweet at
Lever_627. Levi.
I'm at Levi Fletcher.
Excellent.
I thought for sure you were going to do.
Oh,
now you got to fill in the blank for me.
I didn't.
It's like Lever only with an
I
L.
got you. I misdirected you, Joe.
I also thought Levi was doing it out of respect because I was like, maybe Joe's moving away from the beaver thing because the beaver lever.
People make fun of me for it, man. It's not
I think it's great. Everybody loves it. Also, we've been confirmed that that people love your bits, Joe. They just the comical bits that you do.
Ooh, I didn't mix in enough this week.
That's okay. I think it's okay to take a week off. But
Jimmy needed a break, everybody.
I needed a break. Oh gosh. Yeah. Speaking of, if you never need to take a break, maybe you should just stop by our Twitch channel. We talked about it earlier, but seriously, we're having so much fun over there. You guys should stop by. It's twitch.tv/critical reviews. Typically weekdays, Mondays, and Fridays right now. Weekends when we can, weeknights occasionally too. But just keep it locked on our Twitter. We always let people know when we're going live. So come out, hang with us. We will talk to you, even if you don't do anything else besides just say hi. We'll just say hi back. You don't have to even throw us any money there if you don't want to. Just hang out. You know, we might not be the best video game players, but we sure are the friendliest. I'd judge anybody who could be friendlier than me.
I'll vouch for him.
Yes, I got Joe's vouch, and he's the guy who does all the Canada Dry commercials. Man, yeah, I really hope that's
popular. I'm very well known.
That'd be so cool, Joe. You just like quit your job.
And the bubbles and the fizz roll down the tongue.
If Morgan Freeman gets this job, I'm gonna be.
All right, I'm gonna need to partner up with Levi. We'll get this Canada Dry train on the road.
Perfect. Excellent. I want to thank a few people for making all this happen. I want to thank, this is Dale for our intro and outro music, and I want to thank the one and only Joran Evers for doing pretty much all the art you see here on the show. Joran is still working hard on this special project, which hopefully will see the light of day sooner rather than later, but here's a brief synopsis. When David opens a mysterious box that transforms his arm into an alien weapon, he at first uses it for good to right the wrongs of his high school. But as more of his body is transformed, he finds that playing God comes with its own set of new, self-destructive perils. And speaking of things that are like Blue Beetle or like Chronicle, Venom. We're going to watch Venom soon, Joe. It's going to be good.
Joran, special shout out. Speechless, my card is awesome, dude. I speechless. That's all I can say. I already shouted you out on Twitter, but I can't say enough.
Yes, what Levi is referring to is that Levi got his face all done up and drawn out for our card game, because anybody who donates at any tier of our Patreon can get that. So you get your beautiful mug. You could strike a pose in your picture because you want to send us a picture so we know what you look like. But strike a pose, give us a few little things about yourself, and then we will give you abilities. So Levi, I think your abilities were welcome to the game, which is your catchphrase, and then unkillable, which is the name of the Ponyta that we gave you back in that Pokemon Quest game. Or that you had, and we'll figure out the numbers and stuff later, but we just kind of have these things on here. So basically it's like a Yu-Gi-Oh card or Pokemon card, so picture yourself as being the Pokemon instead with your special abilities underneath it. And it's actually really cool because even at $1 you get that, which is honestly an insane value for like what this is, like a really cool picture of yourself along with like getting access to our Patreon stuff. So yeah, donate at any tier.
I geeked out hard. It was
I'm glad you liked it. I always get worried because I see them and I'm like, I hope they love it like I do, because I'm like, this looks pretty sick.
At first I was like, why can't I look this good in real life? But damn you, Joran. Anyway.
He's very talented. He's so good. I'm so lucky that like he just elevates this channel to a new level, especially like with the wish lists and things like that. I want to do wish lists more often, but I feel bad because I'm like, hey Joran, we should do new wish lists. We should do one on Diablo. And he's like, okay, like what did you have in mind? And then I show him like a horrible stick figure drawing. I'm like, so Diablo's in the center here, and this stick person, well, this is a necromancer, and they're jumping at him over here. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna take this design and make it way better. And I'm like, okay, good. I did the framework, you know. Joran just basically takes my crazy ideas and puts them into reality, which you can see everywhere on this channel. Also, his art station, go check it out. He's doing this kind of thing right now where he made up a character for Star Wars, apparently like a Padawan of Luke Skywalker's, like one of the younglings that was being trained, like survived Kylo Ren's attack or whatever, and he's doing like a whole little comic on it, kind of, or like a little short, illustrated story. It looks really cool. It's just like, man, I could just stare at his work, and I do every day. I just literally, it's on my desktop, it's always changing out. So thank you, Joran, for being incredible, and thank you to all of our patrons and everyone who supports us, to people who subscribe here and like our stuff. And if you can't do that, just share us around. Seriously, this week, don't donate, just share us. Just share us with somebody. Share us on Facebook. Share us on Twitter. That helps a lot. But either way, thanks, boys, for being on. Levi, thanks for dropping in a little bit later. I appreciate it, my friend. Thank you. And Joe, as always, it's been fun chatting with you guys. Also, last little thing before we leave, Levi, I know you wanted to bring this up and I didn't want to gloss over it. New Netflix show. What's it called again?
Umbrella Academy.
Umbrella Academy.
I'll just bullet point it out real quick. Gerard Way, lead singer of My Chemical Romance, household band name.
Oh yeah.
He's a comic book writer now for Dark Horse Comics. Created the Umbrella Academy back in 2006, 2007. Great comic series. Check it out. And now they're adapting it into a show starring the one and only Ellen Page. And it's like a dark spin on, superheroes and family drama and stuff like that. So check out the trailer, guys.
Have you read the comics or the graphic novels at all?
I'm not a big comic person. It's really hard for me to actually follow the strips.
Sure.
I know that sounds really stupid. I've just never been able to do that.
No, I get you. I get that.
I have a lot of respect for them and the stories they, bring out. But yeah, I've never been a huge comic fan. So
sure. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, from the trailer that I saw, there's like a minute and 11 trailers out. It kind of reminds me of like if Watchmen met X-Men and you smash them together.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the vibe.
He's also done a Batman project too.
Oh, cool.
Check it out. Yeah, he works with DC a bit. So yeah. Cool.
Excellent. Thank you. Well, yeah, I wanted to bring that up. I'm sorry we didn't bring that up earlier, but check out the trailer. Let us know, everybody, if you want us to talk more about that, because that's coming in. When is it? It's coming soon, right?
Yeah, coming soon. Yeah.
Coming soon to Netflix, along with 1,000 other things, because that's Netflix, and Netflix is like, Disney Plus.
We're gonna pump out those originals till one sticks.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, they got Fuller House somewhere. Yeah. Anyway, they keep bringing up on the ranch. Joe, have you noticed that too? Like I think every part of that show, like they do, like there's 5 or 6 parts to it now, or seasons. They always bring up Fuller House at least once.
John Stamos is crying somewhere.
Really?
I feel like it's part of Netflix's. They're like, hey, you got to bring up Fuller House. Gotta bring that up. Anyway, thanks everybody for watching. Whoever stuck around this far, just tweet us. Just tweet us what? Hashtag, I like doing this. This is kind of a fun game. Hashtag Endgame. Tweet me hashtag Endgame if you made it this far. I'm interested to see who made it to this Endgame. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining us. Just remember to adapt and overcome. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.